I'm Maryn.
And I'm Christie.
And you're listening to Hung, a podcast where we talk about true crime from the court of law to the court of public opinion.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Meggan Sundwall case. Yeah, we're going to get into the meat of it today, so get ready.
Buckle up.
That's right. It's a lot of stuff.
Take a seat.
There were 3 patrol officers that responded that night, and one of them was like the lead on scene, but they only call one of those police officers, and I know this was the state that chose who to call, not the defense, but it was interesting to me that there are 3 police officers, 3 body cams. This one officer, he was new on the job. He had just finished his training and stuff. I think it had been a couple months that he had been on his own. And his body camera footage, when he logged it into their system, you have to tag it with the type of call and things like that. And he tagged it as a medical call, which that's the type of call that it was. But medical calls, they purge from the system after a certain amount of time. So say 60 days, or I'm just making a random, but I can't remember exactly. It's a shorter period of time that they get cleared from the system because it's a medical thing and it's not something that there's any ongoing investigation or something. And that wasn't that convenient that his body cam footage, so there was the idea that the defense is wronged because they don't have access to this footage. But the other thing is they've got 3 officers there and they have 2 other sets of body cam footage that is all intact.
Right, because the defense could call a different police officer if they wanted to, right?
Yeah. And we watched body cam footage from the other officers, at least one of the other officers' cameras during trial. But he wanted to hammer home. He's like, I did it according to my training. This is what I was told to do. This is what I did. I wasn't trying to do something underhanded or something. I wasn't trying to get rid of evidence that somehow could benefit the defense or something like that. But then I guess he also had, when they were going through the box of important papers in Kacee's closet, he was looking through and they were looking for that DNR. And so we have video showing them going through looking at the paperwork and stuff. He sees an envelope and it has Meggan's name on it. And he's like, hey, this has the name of the individual whose name we were told earlier. Do you want me to run it? Says to the other officer. And he says, no, whatever. But he takes a picture, a photograph of that envelope and sticks it back in to the box.
Okay.
And states he didn't look inside of it. He just noted the name, and that was what caught his eye, and took a picture of it. And that was pretty much the content of his interview. I mean, we watched some footage, and it kind of showed that insulin syringe, and it's sitting now on that little table next to the recliner, and they were being careful to try and stay out of the way of the paramedics and stuff. So they just kind of left it in at the end of the night before they left. They did collect that and put it into evidence, but they didn't find a DNR. So the other investigator that testified was one that does the cell phone downloads and stuff, that he does the forensics on digital devices. So he talks about searches that were made by Meggan and Kacee in the days prior to the incident, and I think one day after too. So it was like the 11th through the 13th or something of August. And Kacee was searching for Lululemon leggings, lunch boxes, Voodoo donuts, and then pharmacy hours for Smiths, and then the one that you mentioned,
saline.
Is it okay to give yourself a shot with saline solution? And she did a couple different searches for that night prior. And Meggan searched for vacation info, jewelry, and then the main one that she searched that had to do with this was the type of glucose monitor, which was a freestyle. How low does it go? Because at a certain point, it'll start to say low instead of a number. And she didn't know, how low does it go before it starts saying low? So she was searching for that, and it turns out anything under 20 will say low. And there was a number of readings that said low on that day before EMS came. So,
okay.
And he also noted that the extraction report showed that Meggan removed a heart from a message that Kacee had sent quite a long time before.
Oh, like you can react to a message and she just like unreacted?
Yes, exactly. And I think that the whole reason that this is important is because Meggan had met with the police detectives on August 16th, and they had asked for her phone, and she consented, but she said she couldn't give it to them yet, and she would bring it to them. And I don't know if she remembered what the reason was that she gave that to not give it. But it was on 9/17, so they had talked to her on 9/16, and at 9/17 at 2:03 a.m., she's clearly going through her text messages, and that's when she's doing her deleting, because that's also when she removes this response, like this reaction, the heart, from a message that Kacee had said something about, hopefully I'll die this weekend kind of thing. So that kind of gives them an idea of the time frame when all these deletions were taking place. Was after they had talked to her and before she gave him the phone.
Innocent people always delete all their text messages.
Yeah. After the police come to talk to them.
After they tell them, I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Right. 2 days from now. Yeah, so the defense basically well, did they ask you to see if any of those searches had been performed prior? Like maybe this was a common search, particularly the vacations and jewelry that Meggan had been searching for.
Right.
Maybe this was something she searched for all the time and this wasn't something new.
Right. To not have it be associated with, I'm going to get some money soon.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's right. And said so you do other things to help with investigations, right? I mean, you don't just sit in your office all day looking at cell phone data, do you? And he's like, yes, I do actually sit in my office all day looking at cell phone data.
That's my job.
Yeah. And he says, well, didn't you do some interviews with Meggan's parents? And he said, oh, yeah. You're right. I did do that. So occasionally he will go out and do interviews upon request. Sometimes he'd also find himself just nodding, and the defense attorney is like, is that a yes? And oh, yes. Sorry, I'm not used to having to talk to people out loud. Anyway, so what the defense reviews with this witness is the health data that's captured on the phone. So every hour, it will report the distance the phone traveled in the hour prior, and what the max speed was, and how many samples there were. So, for example, this is on Kacee's phone. 8 o'clock on the day of the event. The phone records that she had traveled 369.30 something. It doesn't have a reference.
Steps, maybe?
Maybe. Well, 0.30 steps. Oh. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, partial step. Pulling that back.
Okay, yeah, fair.
And then total samples 24. So that makes me think she had 24 short trips that added up to 369.30.
369.30, but that's what I meant by steps.
Right, but total samples, 24. So I'm thinking within that hour, she got up 24 different times. That's how I'm reading it. That 24 times. So she was pretty active. And that is the time that Mark said she was out there washing dishes and they were talking and whatever. So she was up during that hour and her max speed was 0.85. So the defense attorney converts that distance to feet from meters, he says. And the expert's like, well, I can't confirm that conversion. And the defense doesn't push it at that point, but he does push it the next time it comes up. The defense attorney also asks, would you agree that's about a walking speed, the 0.85? And the guy, I mean, any these are dry people. They're very technical, logical thinkers, and they're answering very specifically. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I'm not an expert in walking speed, so I can't answer that, right? Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I'm not asking you as an expert in walking speed. I'm asking you as an expert in data, blah, 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 you know? And the guys will like, well, it's slow moving. That's what I'll say. And the next hour, he says, okay, well, this next hour, it shows 237.77, total samples 22, and then the max speed was 0.97, so a little bit faster this time. He wants to convert it again to feet, and he says, I can't verify that because there is no unit of measurement. And he's like, as an expert, you don't know that this is measured in meters? And he says, no, I can't say. There's a little square box instead of a unit of measure. I can't say that those are meters or those are feet or those are something else. It doesn't say. So I don't feel comfortable saying what it is. All I can tell you is what it says right there. And I agree that that's what that says. And he goes through 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And she's also moving around during those times. He also goes through lock-unlock events where the user has to be interacting with the phone directly, like with their face or their fingerprint or something to open the phone. And there are 3 events right around 1:12, and then there are a number of them around 1:30, and then some more a little after that, within like 5 minutes of that. And then at 2 o'clock, no distance traveled in that hour. So he asked some question about phone movement over a certain time frame. And the witness is like, well, can you be more specific? And the defense attorney says, well, maybe we'll have to ask another expert. Like he's really getting after this guy for, you know, his lack of expertise about things. But there are no lock-unlock events after 1:38 in the afternoon. And there's no distance traveled after 12 o'clock. So the phone doesn't ever move after that, and she doesn't interact with her phone again after 1:38. So in the redirect, they ask, well, can you tell who's actually locking or unlocking the device? I mean, it could be someone else that knows the PIN, or that holds it in front of someone's face, or that puts their finger on it. But it does seem to me that if someone were going to go to that trouble of doing that they wouldn't stop doing it at 1:38 and not do it the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem very likely to me. And then we get to the lead detective who's going to go through the text messages. Okay, so now we have Detective Farney, which her name is spelled. I'm very visual, so I like to know, what is that exactly? It is Farni, Farney. So it sounds almost like kind of a Middle Eastern or something name, which she looks very Scandinavian. She has like long, thick blonde hair that goes down past her butt. I mean, really long blonde hair.
You never know with last names in a society where women change their name when they get married.
Yeah. So Lone Peak, they cover Alpine and Highland, which are 2 little towns. And the last homicide investigation that had taken place in Lone Peak was 1996.
Wow.
And the only person who's still in the department that worked on that case is the chief of police for their department and nobody else. You know, they're not used to doing these types of investigations.
Sure. So with the whole, like, not coming to reseal the door and stuff like that is like...
Thinking like, oh, it's fine, you know, not that big of a deal. And there were some definite missteps in this case that I'm not sure that it really was anything that changed the trajectory of the case or what they knew or didn't know, but it did open a door for the defense for sure. But she was called because of this, you know, suspicious circumstances surrounding this medical call. And like I mentioned before, okay, we found an insulin syringe. The patient's not diabetic. There's a friend in the room that's the beneficiary of her life insurance policy. And she's like, that just sounds crazy. It sounds like a soap opera, you know? This is not, I don't know. So she's didn't go out that night to investigate. Like I said before, she thought, okay, she's going to get better. I'm going to be able to talk to her the next day. And in the morning, she reads all the reports of the officers on scene from the night before. They had collected a syringe and a lot of empty prescription bottles. So that was the other thing. Was it an overdose of something else? You know, we have all these medications and we have narcotics and stuff. And they were pill bottles that had either Kacee's name on them or they had her grandpa's name on them.
Okay.
And they were all empty, and lots of them, more than 24 or something.
Right. And then the glucometer, I'm just curious, I was thinking of it. So, I mean, I know Meggan is a nurse. Did she bring her own and take it out with her? Was it left there?
Yeah, that's a good call. I forgot to mention that when the detective came, I don't remember if it's when they did the search or if it was the day that they noticed the flooding before they could actually do the search, that Mark noted, hey, that's my mom's glucometer is what he thought. And it was sitting on top of the laptop computer that was on her desk under the window. And she pointed out on a picture of the room where it was, and you could see the little black case that it was in. And she did collect that. I don't know if she got it that day or the next day, but then he did ask for it back because it was his mom's. And so
Meggan collected it.
No, the detective collected it, and then he asked for it back, and then later in January, he brought it back to them, and I'm not sure why, but it wasn't until then that they ran the history, and they got all the old readings and saw the blood sugar readings that had been performed that day.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there were some other things that happened that he noted as days went on. We'll touch on that since I forgot to do it when he was testifying. His testimony was really long, so hard to cover all of it. She said that they had driven down and were planning on trying to talk to Meggan on the 15th, but Meggan wasn't available. She was up north somewhere. And so they arranged to meet her the next day. And while they were doing that interview on the 16th, Mark called her. And he reports that they had discovered approximately $1,700 missing from his parents' account. And so she says, well, I have some questions because in that box of documents in Kacee's room, there were some credit card statement stuff, information that she wanted to review with Mark too. They did end up opening a separate investigation for fraud, and Adult Protective Services became involved in that case and did their own investigation because they always get involved if there's any indication that maybe there's some sort of elderly abuse going on, which financial abuse falls into that category.
Right, being taken advantage of financially.
Yeah. And, okay, so Kaylin, I couldn't remember what her aunt's name was, and Kacee were both investigated by APS about it. And the investigation for Kaylin was closed unsupported, that there wasn't evidence to support her being involved in any sort of fraudulent activity. And the case against Kacee was closed, supported, and so there is evidence that maybe she was involved in some fraudulent activity, but she's no longer around, so they can't question her or continue an investigation.
Right.
So this is the thing that I forgot to talk about with Mark. So on August 18, Mark is emptying out the garbage can from the patio area of those basement stairs. There were some chairs out there. She would sit out there and smoke and talk with her friends and let Bella go to the bathroom, all of that. And so he was emptying that garbage can, and there was a Fanta box in there, which Fanta was Kacee's favorite drink. And so it was one of those empty 12-pack boxes, and he was going to crush it and put it in the recycling up in the garage and noticed there was something in the box. And there's a rag, and wrapped inside of this rag is a vial of insulin, an insulin syringe, and the cardboard box that the insulin vial came in.
Oh.
And so he calls Detective Varney to say, hey, I found this stuff, and she was going over the next day to do the search warrant. So she said, all right, well, take a picture of it, put it in a bag, and I'll get it tomorrow when I'm there. Another misstep. She really should have gone and collected that stuff immediately. I mean, really, though, it's like Mark had already handled this stuff. You know, if he had just said, hey, I found a Fanta box and there's something inside. I mean, would she immediately rush over because maybe something is inside? I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
You know, like, until he opened it, there was no indicator that it was anything that might be relevant.
Right. And she didn't rush over when she knew it was something that was relevant. So,
yeah. Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, he already handled it, so I don't really know that there was much of a difference, but, I mean, you know, it's like, you didn't call CSI techs right then to come over, and she's like, we don't have CSI techs. We don't do that. We collect our own evidence. And like, you don't have CSI techs and you don't have access. And I guess they could call, there's a department that supports numerous departments, right? It's not their own, but she could have called somebody, but she's like, well, we always just do it all ourselves. And it didn't occur to her, right?
All the times, all the murders that we have.
Right. All the burglaries and such. Right. So she gets those items on the 19th, but she does not take the Fanta box or the rag into evidence. She just takes the insulin vial, the syringe, and the box the insulin came in, which kind of makes sense. I don't know. I mean, the defense...
Maybe the rag, I would say.
Yeah, you know...
Because, like, what, maybe potential evidence or DNA on that of who tossed it.
Yeah, that was the defense's position too. Fabric, material, that would have been a really good source for DNA. And the box, it's smooth and shiny and it would probably hold fingerprints and whatever. But I'm like, just because someone's fingerprints are on the box doesn't actually mean anything, because we know Meggan was in the room. Like, her fingerprints being on something would not necessarily indicate anything. And we know Kacee's fingerprints are likely to be on it, and Mark's fingerprints are likely to be on it because he touched the box, and whoever handled it in the grocery store, their fingerprints are going to be on it, and the checker, their fingerprints are, you know, it's like there's too many fingerprints that are likely going to be on there, and it's not a key point. Yeah, it's like, are we missing anything because we don't have it? But the defense, they're pretty upset, like, well, yeah, but you can't just say, maybe it would actually give some information, which maybe it would. I'm not sure what information it would show that would change the case. I don't really know, but we don't have that information. So we'll
never know.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never know. And that was his argument, is we will never know. And then, like I said, the big thing is the text message data. All the case kind of hangs on these text messages. Okay, so here we have the duo at work. Maryn is going to read Meggan's side of the conversation, and I will be reading Kacee's responses. So the very first text message that they entered into evidence was from April 9th of 2020, and it starts off with Meggan.
Okay, here's a random question for you. ... How on earth did you get approved for a life insurance policy with all of your health stuff?
I bought it back in 2011. I wasn't as sick back then, but when my dad died, I decided to get one too because my dad always tried to make me get one, so I did.
Ah!
Yeah, there's no way in hell I would even qualify to get one right now.
And we know that that is not true, right? Because her dad got her one and she doesn't even have one currently?
That's right. And I wonder if she ever would have come up with this idea if she hadn't had a policy at one point.
Mm-hmm. I certainly would never think.
Yeah.
Because...
like, who wants to give someone a motive to kill them?
And who does life insurance help? I feel like it's supposed to help the people that you're leaving behind that would no longer gets the financial benefit of having you alive, like your spouse that contributes financially to your family.
Children.
You know, if my friend said, I want you to be the beneficiary of my life insurance policy, I'd be like, that's weird. Why?
It is definitely a unique situation. Okay, so now we skip to June 29th of 2020. I'm so sick of being sick and feeling like this. I can't stop shaking and throwing up. I hate it. I don't know how to let go. Seriously, tell me what I need to do, please.
I don't know exactly, Kacee, but I'm sure my dad would be happy to come over and give you another blessing, if you'd like. Even a blessing of release.
I don't want to ruin your plans this weekend.
Oh my gosh, are you even kidding me, Kacee? Stop that. Going to the cabin is just going to be a whole lot of work for me. Our weekend plans are certainly not important in relation to your suffering.
Okay, I just care about you. And then we skip to about a week later, July 7th of 2020.
Case, level straight with me, please. Do you actually have an insurance policy for your funeral or a plot? Oh, a plot. I was like, a plot? Like they're a plot for
thickens.
No, like a plot to be buried in?
Yes.
Right. Okay, Case, level straight with me, please. Do you actually have an insurance policy for your funeral or a plot? It's okay if you don't. I promise. I just need to try to get things figured out and taken care of.
Yes, I do. Why would I lie about something like that? I just wanted it to be a surprise. I'm like, I don't know why you would ever want, surprise, I had insurance for my funeral. Like, how, what? That's weird. I'm not going to leave anyone feeling like they're stuck with my shit. I haven't told anyone about my insurance policy because I don't want them to be all upset and try and take it. I just feel like I have to constantly prove stuff to everyone. That's kind of weird because I'm like, try and take it. I guess like because she cashed out her policy.
Or they're would be upset that she's giving it to Meggan. And they're like, she's not a family.
This one is specifically funeral expenses and the plot, not a regular insurance policy, unless she just didn't understand the question, which she might be referring to a different type of life insurance. Because, like, do you have one for your funeral or a plot? And she might be responding as if she means life insurance, because...
Well, this next text from, like, responding to that brings back into life insurance, so... She says, what? You cannot leave me a life insurance policy for $1 million. That's insane. You don't need to prove anything to me, Case. Nothing at all. Truly, I was just trying to get everything set up for you to have a beautiful funeral.
I know you were. Thank you for helping me. I want to leave it to you. I bought it back in 2011 and have kept it going. When I got divorced, I thought about cashing it out, but I'd already done that, so I haven't. Okay. But then... I found out I was sick and you came into my life and have truthfully been the one person in this world that I wanted to leave it to. You have done more for me than anyone and have shown me what a true friend is. You have welcomed me with open arms into your family and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I know there's no way that I could ever repay you for what you have done and given to me. So if I can leave you with at least this, please let me.
Your friendship is payment enough, but my goodness, Case, thank you so much. I am bawling.
That's why I keep saying as soon as I'm gone, I hope you can do things you want to, like staying home with Porter like you want, and not needing to worry about money. And then we skip to 8/18 of 2020, so a month, 6 weeks after. I can't do this. This anxiety and pain is too much. I'm stuck between I'm scared to live and I'm scared to die. I can't even breathe.
Kacee, girl, what choice do you have? You have to keep going, but I think you need to really work on replacing your fear of death with more faith.
I agree. I'm more afraid of death by taking my own life. It's so hard sitting here waiting for it to happen.
You're not going to take your own life. I don't know what she means by that.
I do kind of wonder if this is where the beginning of this idea of suicide starts being planted, because there are little mentions of it and then it does ramp up over time as you'll see. So end of September of 2020, there's this message chain starting with Meggan.
Yeah, which it references texts that we don't see, but it says,
right.
Sorry, I just got these. Been up all night with Porter. You didn't freak me out. Kacee, you are never going to pass away if you keep freaking yourself out and going into a panic when you start to feel bad. I'm convinced that you are not going to pass until you actually want to completely. You've asked for blessings, taken stuff, and say you want to, but I know you don't. You have to let go. It's past time. So I guess earlier when she says you're not going to take your own life, she's thinking like she's hoping to pass naturally, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're not letting yourself pass.
So. But she also does mention taking stuff. So sounds like maybe she's made some attempts of something.
Right. And then she says, there's nothing left for you here. Everything is ahead of you in the next life. Move forward and stop only existing.
Because I feel like I'm frustrating the hell out of you because I'm not dying. I do want to be done and out of pain, but yeah, I'm scared and I don't know how not to be. And yeah, I'm scared to leave Bella and you.
You aren't frustrating the hell out of me. Faith and fear cannot exist in the same place. You are letting fear rule your life. I understand that this is the way you've always lived, but it will not work to die that way. I try to help you, Kacee, but I can only do so much when you sabotage. I don't know what more I can do.
I didn't think I was sabotaging. I tried to die this weekend. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying the best I can. I'm sorry I'm complaining about being sick and asking you for help. I was grateful that you were there for me this weekend, and I felt I didn't have to do it alone. Sounds like maybe there was a little duo thing going on right there. It made it so much easier. It makes me sad that you think I'm just sticking around on purpose. Anyway, we don't have to talk about it anymore. And then a couple days later, the conversation continues.
I didn't get to ask Ben about the insulin yesterday, but I will today. I think you need at least 100 units. It all depends upon how your body metabolizes medications, which I think is super slow. He said it's crazy because if you wrap someone up and keep them warm, the body just continues to metabolize the insulin, and an autopsy doesn't even detect an overdose of insulin. It's super crazy.
Super crazy. Super crazy that you're sharing that info. But, oh, wow. Okay, I will see what I can do. Thank you for checking on that. I'm going with my aunt today, so I will see if she has extra insulin. I will just tell her I found out I was diabetic and it's so expensive and see what she says. I also just got a script for 130 10-milligram Percocet that I will need to pick up, and I could pick up my Ambien as well. I thought about taking those as well.
I wouldn't take all of them. What if it doesn't work? Then you have nothing. I will see if maybe we have samples of insulin here.
Epic, which is doctor, talked with Masteller. He called me this morning and we had a long talk. He's worried about my mental health. He says he understands it though, especially with everything I'm dealing with and being so young. He says he wants to help me, but he was worried about giving me meds and then me taking my life. I told him I wouldn't do that, so he's agreed to help me. He said he would try and get me a hospice team ASAP. He wasn't mad at you at all. He said he was just concerned from everything you told him. Anyway, I told him what he wanted to hear so I could get something, but if you could get samples, that would be great, and I will check with my aunt and grandma on insulin as well.
A couple of units probably won't do much.
I didn't mean units, I meant bottles, but she would explain the units to me. I asked if it makes you feel weird. She says you can't even tell, so at least I know I don't need to panic. I can just take it before I go to sleep, or maybe you could give it to me after I fall asleep.
Oh, you won't even know, Kacee. Please don't make me give it to you, though.
Okay, I won't. I felt bad even writing that.
Are you doing insulin tonight?
So interesting, so this... Okay, I won't. I feel bad even writing that. That's at 10:41 in the morning. And this is at 9:30 at night. Meggan sends her another message asking her, are you doing insulin tonight? I was hoping to see you and give you a hug before you left for work this morning, and I overslept. And then the next morning at almost 10 a.m., this is her Meggan's response.
And she sent that at 8:53 in the morning.
True, that's right. Yeah, so she gets the "Are you doing insulin tonight?" at 9:30 at night. She doesn't respond until almost 9 in the morning.
And apparently not.
That would be a long wait if you're like, "Are you doing insulin tonight?" And then you're like, 12 hours go by. Well, maybe she did do insulin last night, so...
And then I was hoping to give you a hug.
And you're like, oh.
She says... You didn't use the insulin last night? Are you planning on it?
I'm planning on it. I just wasn't ready to use it last night. I took too long with Michelle showing up. You had gone to bed and I wanted to see and talk to you a bit before. I know that's probably annoying to you. I want to be out of pain, but yes, I'm still sad about leaving. You're probably thinking, how many goodbyes do you need? I'm just broken, have attachment issues. I'm scared and I'm going to miss the heck out of you. I just need to do it and get it over with so everyone can get back to living their life and not have to worry about me.
You're never going to be free from sadness about dying, Kacee. It's normal to feel sad. But I already told you, I'm not going to say goodbye. That's a permanent thing, and it's not. You don't have to use the insulin. I'm just going to take it back to my work if you don't. No big deal.
Okay, so that was on 9/3, and then we have 4 days later on 9/7. In the evening, Meggan says,
Are you planning on using that insulin, or do you want me to take it back? I didn't see it in the fridge.
I took it with me just in case. It's on ice. You can take it back if you need to. I can get some somewhere else.
Just in case of what?
I thought about doing it while I was gone, but of course I didn't. And then the next day at 2 in the afternoon, she says, I thought I wanted to go and spend time with my family. My stupid anxiety just runs my life, and I don't know how to change that. I'm sure it drives you crazy because you're the one person that takes it all away. I don't even know why I have anxiety most days. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm okay, like I'm home and safe. I don't know where all this trauma comes from, but it's a really crappy way to live. I'm not worried about what happens after. I'm honestly afraid of dying. What's it going to feel like? I know it's probably so stupid to you. I feel like a little kid that's constantly scared, and I hate it.
She does seem like an exhausting person to deal with, but this is not the way to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then she says, it's not stupid to me, none of it. You're in pain all the time, Kacee. Dying couldn't be more painful than that. And that is the purpose of just taking the insulin so you just go to sleep.
And then a couple more days pass.
And she says, all I know, Kacee, is that if I was in your shoes, if I had been told that I had done everything I told Heavenly Father I would do, that I could go home and leave all the pain, heartache, and worry of this world behind, I would have been long gone by now. I think you're crazy to want to stay here for a dog and a mess of a best friend when you have so much more on the other side.
Okay, next day, midday. I know you're having a bad day and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't gone home yet and I'm making your life harder. I am trying. I know you don't think I am, but I am trying to mentally prepare myself for it.
Do you want me to take that insulin back so it's not an option for you?
No, I was going to ask you to draw it up tonight, but then I'm worried I won't dare to do it and then it will be a waste. I should have never Googled it. Everyone says it's a horrible way to die and it can take hours. Can't you just give it to me after I fall asleep?
I'm pretty sure you'd feel me giving you a shot.
People said they had friends do it, and some people said they did it and didn't die, and it was horrible, but the internet is stupid, and I need to stay off of it.
Google is not a reliable source, ... If people used it to die, then how would they know?
I didn't say it was. I was meaning I should have never done it because it got me all freaked out. I agree. I'm sorry. I just had a fear of dying that way, but you're right. It doesn't matter.
A fear of dying what way?
Out of it, feeling funny and like I can't breathe. If I could just take it and fall asleep, great, but I need something to get me to sleep or I'll freak out. You've seen me on the gummies, and I wasn't even close to dying, but I thought I was. A few more days later.
How are you this morning? I didn't come in and check on you because the shots were still in the fridge, so I figured you were okay.
I'm okay. I don't know why I didn't just do them last night. I was pretty out of it from all the Phenergan I took to relax. I remember being in so much pain and taking like 4 showers last night because I was so uncomfortable.
I don't know why either. I drew them up for you and tried to get you to take them. You were really out of it, which I thought was the point.
I mean, tried to get you to take them. That's, yeah.
And this is like 4 years before it even actually happens.
Yep, 4 years. Almost exactly 4 years.
Yeah.
And then we have about a month later, in October of 2020.
Are you planning on trying the insulin again?
Yeah, I hope it works.
When are you planning to do it again? Or do you not want me to ask?
I was going to do it last night, but I fell asleep. I'll probably do it tomorrow night because I have to go with my aunt tomorrow morning.
For what? I just kind of need to know because of work and such.
And then a couple weeks later...
You want me to bring you home another bottle of insulin? You could try the whole thing? I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully it will work. I thought the second dose would have worked because it was such a huge amount. I don't remember much. I was just bugged that I was still here. Didn't you say I was worse the first time? If you're okay getting it, that would be great. I just don't want you to get in trouble. Okay, now we got a couple months later in December of 2020.
Right, and obviously she's not being truthful about having taken insulin because it was a huge amount.
Yeah.
I think there's one more box of insulin in the fridge. Want me to bring it to you? You could try giving it normal, which might be the difference.
So I do wonder, like, if she's been injecting it in her port. So we do learn from a later witness that if you inject it directly into the bloodstream, it breaks down within 5 to 7 minutes and it's gone out of your system. So that's why you do it in your skin, so it slowly releases and it has this effect. So it doesn't matter how much you give. If you give it into a vein, it will all be gone within 5 to 7 minutes. So even a massive amount, it just breaks down that quickly. So that does make me wonder, well, could she have tried something and been putting it in her port and it wasn't working? So I don't know, because now, or she's at least saying maybe she did it that way, because you could try giving it normal. Seems like maybe you could try injecting it in your skin like normal.
Right. That's true.
Okay. And she says, yeah, thanks.
I don't know if you heard me tell you that the insulin is in the fridge. Top shelf in the door. That's the last bottle. So hopefully it will help you. All right. So 3/12 of 2021. Meggan says, "What? Kacee, we're not kicking you out. I was just asking if you had made any decisions about what you're going to do, live or die."
Not about moving out. I mean, moving on.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what I want right now. I want to live and I want to die. It's just screwing with my head trying to decide. It's a ton of anxiety for me. I just know you'd asked if I was going to find somewhere to live, so I know I'm a lot of work and feel bad that I'm here because you put your life on hold and it's not fair to you guys.
What do you have to live for in this life? I truly believe everything for you is ahead of you, not here. I felt that way for a long time, more strongly as time goes on. So, I don't know, it's not looking like she thinks it's against her beliefs. I understand, like, those kinds of friends can be really taxing, those that are always talking about wanting to kill themselves or, you know, things like that. And I can understand getting to a point of being like, well, eventually you're just going to have to make a choice, but not one where if at all they said, I don't know, I do want to die, but I also want to live. It would be like, well, good. I hope you live. I want you to, you know what I mean? They would not be like, you want to live, but you probably should die.
Right.
That's weird.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is strange. I don't know. Like, the cancer story's been going on for 5 years by now. So I think that's part of it, but she's not on hospice yet. She doesn't actually go on hospice ever, as far as the story, right? Yeah, until April of 2024. So this is still 3 years prior to that happening. So yeah, I mean, it is a little strange that there's not more encouragement of like, well, let's live your life. Let's find a way for you to live in a meaningful way with the time that you have left. We're not seeing those conversations, at least.
Right. Okay.
So 3 months go by. We're in June of 2021.
Are you nervous to do it yourself?
No, just not sure what I'm doing.
Want to know what I'd do?
Yes.
No. If I wanted to make sure it did what it was supposed to do, I'd draw them all up, everything you've got, and give it all at once through your port.
Even the sedation?
I don't think even you could survive that. Do you want me to come over and do it?
And then the next day at around noon, she continues.
Kacee, I will come over and help you do them. I'm happy to come over and help you if you're really ready to be done. And then the next day. And I don't know what she's responding to at this point.
Yeah, there are no comments from Kacee between these that they showed us.
Says, I don't think you will. That's why I said that I'd be willing to come over and help you. I really feel like you need to do some deep soul searching and figure out what's holding you back and what you need to let go of. When you're actually ready, you let me know and I'll be there to help you. You won't be able to do it alone.
Okay, then we jump ahead about 9 months to March of 2022.
Okay, so how are you this morning?
Still freaking here. I've been so out of it, though. I don't know if my liver kicked in and that's what my problem is, or what the hell, because I haven't had anything and my sugar is 52 this morning. Somehow, it went back up and I have no idea. I don't know if I need to research a different kind of insulin. Honestly, what the hell am I doing wrong?
How did I not see this message? Dang it, I'm so sorry, Kacee. Honestly, I think with the insulin, someone, should probably be me, should stay with you and continue to give you doses so it will actually stay low and you can pass. Does that make sense? We can figure out an evening I can come over and help you if you want to try it that way! !
That would be great. Thank you, Meg. And then we skip another 6 months to September of 2022.
Okay. It seemed to work, but you'd have to do it long before your nurse got there, since she always messes things up.
Okay, I will do that, because she always messes up my plan. Should I do 2 full bottles this time, or more?
How many did you do before?
I think I only did 1.5, because I didn't want my grandma to know. But I just ordered her more insulin last week, so she has like 9 or 10 bottles in the fridge, so she won't even notice. I just want to make sure it works since I'm doing it alone.
I'd do at least 2 bottles then, maybe 3, which that
is so much insulin.
And she has to know she's lying. She did 1.5 bottles and didn't die. Unless she knows this thing about putting it in your port doesn't maybe do it, then she would have to think she's lying.
Yeah, I mean, or she's a really bad nurse when it comes to, I just don't understand how you would not be wise to some of these things. It doesn't make sense. And maybe she just wants to believe her. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it does seem very odd.
Okay, so I'd do at least 2 bottles then, maybe 3.
Okay, should I just do shots or put it through my port?
What did you do last time? I'd do both.
Ooh.
Why choose?
I only did shots because I wasn't sure if it didn't work when I did it all at your house because I put it through just my port. But I will do a bottle through my port and a bottle through shots. I just really hope it works.
I hope so too, Kacee. I know how much you want to go home. Will you keep me updated? When are you going to do it?
Yes, I will. I'm thinking probably around 3.
Why around 3?
Because I'm going to go take Bella outside to play for a bit. My nurse usually comes over around 9:30 to 11. I feel like that's plenty of time.
Ah, that makes sense. Little Bella girl.
I laid down for a minute after I took Bella outside to play and accidentally fell asleep. I just woke up. I'm going to take it now. This is at 3:53.
Okay, good luck. Send me my baby girl soon.
I think she might be saying she
dog?
thinks she's going to take the dog. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Then she says, love you ginormous.
Will do. Love you. Should I take some long-acting insulin too?
I guess you could, but if it were me, I'd probably just take extra fast acting. Is that a thing?
I don't know if she means extra fast acting, like more fast acting, or
right, like take
extra
more
fast.
Right. Is there an extra fast? Extra fast acting.
And then the very next morning, so last they'd messaged was at 4:30 in the afternoon, and supposedly she's doing her shots right then. So then 7:30 in the morning, Meggan messages her.
Good morning, Kacee girl. Been thinking about you all night. How are you?
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Oh, wait, she doesn't respond until almost 2 p.m. So this is another one of those, how are you? Ooh, dot, dot, dot. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but this isn't working. I feel really sick and out of it, and my blood sugar is 29 right now. Also, I hope this makes sense because I have to use speech text because I can't even see what I'm doing. Which, if you can't see what you're doing, I don't know how you know your blood sugar is 29 because you wouldn't be able to read the glucometer if you can't read your phone. I don't know.
And we said at this point they would definitely be comatose.
Yeah. There's no way she's doing anything at 29, but that's another topic. I don't know.
She says, just keep going. Take some more short acting and long acting. 29 is really low, so just keep going. Oh, gosh. It's awful.
It is awful. Like, ugh. Okay. So this is next day. Hey, Meg. Sorry, I'm just getting back to you. The insulin made me so sick, and somehow I'm going to have to figure out how I can get someone to give me more insulin after I pass out because I'm guessing my liver must kick in because I always come back around. But I've been so sick since I started taking it, and it's not doing anything for me. I mean, my sugars are low, but I don't understand what else I need to freaking do. I'm guessing if once I pass out, if I could have more insulin, that might do it.
I can help you do that if you want me to. I'll do whatever you need me to do to help you.
Okay, and then we jump to January of 2023, starts out with Kacee. Honestly, I feel like the only way to do it is to shoot myself, but I don't want to make a huge mess and have to make someone clean it up.
Do you have access to a gun case?
Yeah, but I feel like they've been making me comfortable for so long and it's not working. I do have access to a gun. My Uncle Mark actually bought me one for Christmas so that we could go out and go shooting. So I could use that. I just don't know where I would go and do it because I don't want to do it inside my grandparents' house.
I know how tired you are of all of this, Kacee girl, and I'm so sorry that you've been having to go through all of this. I will help you. If that's what you want me to do, I won't help you shoot yourself. I can never do that, but I will help you.
I guess I could go down the hill behind my grandparents' house and then maybe somehow you could suggest that we go look around their property. I don't know. I don't want to put you in the middle of it. I'm just trying to figure something out. So it sounds like I'll shoot myself. When I can't be found, then you suggest that maybe we go look around the property and you happen to find my body out there.
Right. Do you really want to go that way?
I would never make you shoot me, Meg. I just wanted to run a few ideas by you to see if you think it's something that I could do. Well, to be honest, no, not really, but obviously nothing else is working. My life insurance does cover suicide because when I signed up for it, it said I had to go at least 2 years without doing that, but it would be covered after that. Or can you think of any medications that maybe would do it?
I think we could figure out another way. I've still got all those bottles of Benadryl. If you can still get some insulin, then you can take all the pills, and then I can give you insulin over and over until it works.
I do have plenty of insulin.
I think the insulin didn't work because your body recovered itself because it didn't continue to get more insulin.
I think so too, and maybe we should just do 3 or 4 bottles worth at one time.
But with the Benadryl, should do it. If that's what you really want to do, I'll come and help you.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. We're going to have to wait a few days, though, because my grandma's sister and her husband and kids are here for a few more days. They live in Hawaii, but they're in town for a funeral right now, so they've been staying with us.
You tell me when and I will come. And then a couple days later, she says, truthfully, I really want to be there with you when you pass. I know that isn't very realistic, but that is what I wish could happen. Which, considering all of this we're just talking about, then it would be possible for her to be there because she would be helping her, so I don't...
Right. Well, I think it is like, okay, well, because she's been trying to do it herself, and then they're kind of talking about, hey, I could help you, and I think she is saying, I really would like to be there with you, right? Which I think is the definition of it carrying out their plan, is that she would actually be there and help her.
Right. Okay, so... The 9/5/2023 from Meggan says, I'm feeling pretty defeated. I just had to throw my entire freezer in the garage away because it got left open and everything got ruined. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of food. Then last night when I went to get Porter some applesauce, I discovered a leak in our foundation, which leaked into my food storage area and ruined more stuff. Just one thing after another, you know. We'll be eating canned beans for the rest of the year.
I wish I had tons of money that I could just give to you and make your life easier. Honestly, I feel guilty that I haven't passed away because I know that when you get my life insurance policy, your life is going to be so much better. And I know you probably don't even care about the money, but to me, I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't feel good. And so for me to be able to pass away, that would be like a win. And then you getting some money so that you can get out of debt and stay at home with Porter. You have no idea how much I would love to give that to you. I think it's kind of terrible that she continues with this story and emphasizing this story when she knows she doesn't have the life insurance policy.
Right.
It's kind of cruel. You know, I mean, I know that wasn't her intention, but continuing to perpetuate this story and have someone anticipating this and you keep telling them over and over, I'm like, yeah, it's hard to read that and have her continually bringing this up.
Yeah, it's weird for her to be the one to bring it up, you know?
Right. It's weirder if Meggan brings it up, you know?
Well, yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. And it's hard to know if she feels like, oh, Meg's talking about money and struggles. And so it might be a little hint, you know, on
Meggan's part.
Feel the pressure. And that might not be Meggan's intent at all. She's just sharing what's going on. But that may be the way that it's coming across to Kacee. And she's feeling like, oh, great. She needs to be reassured again that there's this money for her. And I think she would have liked to provide that for Meggan, honestly. I think she... You know,
right. Like, I mean...
It just wasn't going to happen.
She can't, but
yeah. It wasn't going to happen.
Okay. Then a couple weeks later, Meggan says, Kacee, I promised you I would do whatever you need / want me to do. If that means you want / need me to be there, I will. I don't break promises. I will let you decide and tell me what you want and need.
I know you don't, but the more I thought about it, I feel selfish for making you watch that. Of course, I would love for you to be there with me, but I also don't want to give you PTSD or something. It's hard watching someone you care about die, and it can screw with your mental health, but if you think you can honestly do it and be okay, then yeah, I would love for you to be with me. Obviously, you're a hospice nurse too, so this isn't anything new for you. I just want to make sure you'll be okay.
Kacee, I want to be there with you. Could we do it on Saturday so Mitch can be home with Porter?
Thank you, Meg. That means a lot. Yes, that would be just fine. And then next day is Friday.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, can we schedule your death?
I know.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Like, okay. How are you feeling about tomorrow, Kacee?
Honestly, I'm starting to worry about it. I just don't feel like it's the right thing to do, but I don't want you to be upset with me. I know you just want what's best for me and that you love me and don't want me to suffer anymore, but I'm struggling with it. I'm tired of being sick and in pain and dealing with the anxiety. I don't know what my problem is and why I'm so nervous about it.
I'm not going to be upset with you, Kacee. It's your call, not mine.
I wish I could just find a medication that would make me fall asleep and not wake up, but my biggest fear is like suffering and not being able to breathe and just being in a total panic. And I know that sounds silly, but like when they put a dog to sleep, it's not like they suffer and gasp for air and it takes a while for them to pass. It's almost like foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
I know.
Which is horrible.
And I know she's looked up like death from insulin overdose, so that might be where she's getting this info too.
Right. I mean, that would freak me out too. I don't want to be struggling to breathe and feel like I'm drowning and be aware, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wish they could just give me that damn medicine they give to people to let them die, because I heard they don't suffer, they don't struggle to breathe, they just fall asleep and their heart stops and they die.
I don't know what to tell you, Kacee, but this is your call. I just need to know if I should plan on it or not.
Okay, then we skip a few more weeks to October of 2023.
Kacee, can I ask you a question I really shouldn't? Is the money thing for real? I don't think... I'm like,
Yes, it is. I promise. She's not saying that, but she's about to.
Yeah, well, and it's like asking about it doesn't look good for her either, so... I don't think Mitch and I are going to be staying together, and I need to know what I'm looking at as far as being able to take care of Porter by myself and how much I'm going to have to work, whether it be 2 or 3 jobs. I'm so sorry to ask. I really am. I feel really uncomfortable asking, actually.
Yes, I promise it's for real. Ooh, stop doing that. I have to make sure to keep everything current. I started my life insurance policies. These are the things that we're saying about like too many details, like too much stuff to prop up your story when, you know,
You could just say
liar
yes.
strategy, right?
Right. You could just say, yep, it's real. I mean, what?
Yep.
All of this doesn't actually mean anything, so.
I mean, I can't understand why she believes it. I'm not saying it's unbelievable, but,
No.
you know, when after the fact, when you know that they're lies and you look at it, you're like, yeah, well, this is pretty classic of how liars lie, right? I started my life insurance policies after my dad died because I knew I would need it with my health problems. I wouldn't lie to you about that. Yes, I would. I wanted to surprise you with it, but I felt like I needed to let you know so that you would know to contact the attorney if anything happened to me. You can come get the paperwork if you don't believe me. I just had other surprises and things after I passed. Surprise.
What?
That might sound weird. Yeah, it kind of does. But I know if I lost a best friend, it would be hard, and you might find comfort in that. That's the only reason I haven't given you the stuff I have yet. So apparently she had letters and other things that she said she had for Meggan to receive after she died.
Okay.
Interesting that she doesn't give them to her when they're at the house and she's actively dying if she knows that's the plan. Here's the things.
Right. Well,
for you.
And then my thought too is like, does life insurance not, I mean, I would assume it usually only covers accidental deaths and not suicide.
Well, they talk about this a number of times, like, oh, and it does cover suicide. They said I can't do that for 2 years, but then after that, it does cover it.
Right, but in real life, like,
right.
do insurance policies, because I feel like, I don't know, especially because they're going to do an investigation, and especially if they come across text messages that are saying, hey, I'll die so I can give you money. They're like, no, that's not how life insurance is supposed to work. If you kill somebody for the life insurance, you're not going to get it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know about the suicide. It might be covered or not, or it might depend on the policy.
Yeah. Okay. And then when is this? It doesn't show me.
2 weeks later, so the end of October of 2023.
Okay. We've been having fun with our mediation appointment all morning. That's her and her husband, I'm guessing.
So with her husband's ex, they've been having mediation with his ex-wife.
Okay, because she just said that she didn't think she was going to stay with him.
Right. Yeah. So you'll see as it goes on, but she's talking about they had an appointment with Mitch's ex-wife.
Okay, because then my thought when she said, oh, I don't know if we're going to stay together is like, well, is she being truthful about that? I don't know. So
right, yeah.
Like, is she...
Well, she might be more like, maybe I would leave if I knew I could be financially okay, or maybe I wouldn't if I knew I wouldn't. You know, like, it's hard to know if that was a factor in her mind of what decision she might choose to make, or if that decision she felt like was out of her hands and she might be placed in that situation. I don't know.
All right. And then she says, just when I think I can't hate her more, child support doubled.
So financial pressures, I think, is what the state is wanting to show, that
her financial pressures and the fact that Kacee is aware of them as well.
Right.
But she doesn't actually have a life insurance policy, so there wouldn't be a reason for her to kill herself because of that, because there is no life insurance policy.
Right. Yeah, I think it is one of those where it's like,
just
okay,
motive.
More questions about the life insurance policy and seeing the financial strain building, which might lead to more motive, I think, is their idea of it, which may or may not be true, right?
Right. I'm going to lie down and turn my phone off for a while. Just so you know, I'm an absolute mess. I lost my job this morning. I'm sick about it. We're going to lose everything, Kacee. Our house, Mitch's stupid truck, our lives here. I'm feeling so hopeless and so discouraged. What am I going to do? I'm so tired of giving my heart and soul and always being hurt so deeply. I can't keep doing it. What am I going to do? I'm so ashamed. I keep losing jobs and people keep hurting me. There must be something terribly wrong with me. I just can't keep doing it. I don't want to help people anymore. I don't want to work with people anymore. And really, really limits my ability to work and provide for my family. It doesn't even matter what happened. It's done. And I'm going to be the cause of us losing everything.
I feel bad because you've been struggling financially as it is, but don't blame yourself or make you feel like you're ruining everything for your family. I'm really sorry this happened. What did Mitch say? Is he upset?
No, he's been very sweet and sensitive. Trading places. Let me go home and you stay here in this awful place. Oh, gosh. Wait, this must be a different time.
Yeah, this is actually... Well, this is only a week later, because that was like...
So she must have gotten another job.
She had a second job already. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with her other job, I was supposed to work tonight, but as I was driving there, I ran over something huge. I don't know what it was, but it ripped off my front bumper, the undercarriage of my car, and cracked a whole bunch of things, causing fluid to pour out.
Are you okay?
Physically, I'm fine.
I'm sorry that happened. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. You've been through so much these last couple of weeks. I'm so sorry, Meg. Can I do anything for you?
I wish there was something you could do, Kacee. Unless you won the lottery last night, I can't think of anything. Or unless I won the lottery and you died.
Ugh. It's like, I hate to make any joke out of that, but it's like, wow.
It's not... Because of all of the background info, you can't read it in the same way that you would if you didn't know anything. You'd be like, yeah, okay, like I could say that to my friend, and it would mean nothing. It would be innocent. But after all of the texts that have led up to this, all of the do it this weekend, and am I really going to get life insurance? It just feels like the undertone has to be different with everything that we know leading up to this.
I mean, these text messages were really hard to sit through and listen to. And I can't remember what attorney brought it up, but I think it came out when Meggan's dad, Lee, was testifying that he was not aware of the conversation about suicide and insulin and Meggan's assistance and all of that. That he didn't know anything about that until 2 weeks prior to trial.
Okay, you might want to know so it doesn't surprise you.
Kacee's reply is, I'm sorry, Meg, if I could just freaking die, you would be fine. So she's reading in the lottery equals life insurance policy.
Yes, and if that's the immediate conclusion after talking about if you won the lottery, I feel like Meggan knows that as well. Mm-hmm. All right. Mitch just told me we're probably going to owe on taxes this year. Good gracious, Kacee, I'm feeling so damn defeated. And if that's your response to, if I could just die, well, yeah, and we owe taxes, so...
Right, if you could, because we have a lot of money we're going to owe. I need that money.
Right, if you could, yeah, so...
I don't know, let's look at what time that was. So the if I could freaking die was at 10:25 or something in the morning. This one is like 7 p.m., so it's not immediate. Right. So we can't...
That we know.
It feels like a link, and it obviously is a link in like time frame of what's happening and the financial pressures of that time, but it's not immediately after that.
Yeah, so. And then 2 hours later, I seriously can't keep going, Kacee. It's like this hopeless darkness. I don't see a way out of it all.
I get that. I'm so sorry. Whatever happened with court? Did Amber win, and did child support get increased?
Also notice that her response isn't, maybe you should kill yourself. So that's how you support somebody who is going through a hard time and not, yeah, sounds really hard. Maybe don't live.
Yeah, right. I wish I could just pass so you could get out of this mess. I talked to my bishop the other day asking him why I'm not passing because I've had blessings of release and that in my blessings it said I had completed everything I needed to and I could go home. But the way he explained it to me is that we don't get to say when we go, because I asked him, like, how is this my fault when I pray and I beg to go home and I might have anxiety, but I don't understand why Heavenly Father would hold that against me. And he said that everybody has a time already of the day that they will pass and that I don't have control and I just have to have faith that Heavenly Father will take me when he thinks it's time, which I said doesn't make sense because I've had blessings and he's told me I could go home. I've done everything I needed to do. So I don't know what to even do anymore. I'm just so freaking lost on the whole thing, which I do think it harkens back. And I don't know if it's been said by Meggan yet or not, or if she says it
about blessings of release.
Well, saying, you've been told that you've done everything you needed to do.
I think she did say that, yeah.
What are you sticking around here for? Why aren't you gone? And also the anxiety thing. Like, well, it's your fault because you are too scared to let go, and that's why you're not dying.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's kind of rough too. Which is like, yeah, well, you would die if you would just not be anxious about it. And she's like, how can I not be anxious? I'm scared, And of course she's not terminal,
Not
so
really.
It doesn't really matter, but, it's just weird. Like you see the psychology coming out, what Meggan has said to her in the past, that she's bringing that up and it's affecting her, right? She's saying, why is it my fault, that I have anxiety? How can I control that? And
if she actually talked to her bishop, that's right. Also the question, but...
Right. It's more about what she's sharing with Meggan, whether the backstory is actually real, because like you said, who knows? But I think those fears, or she's afraid of Meggan's opinion of her, right? And she's trying to get reassurance, in my opinion, in some of these things that she's saying, is she's admitting that, hey, some of the things that you've said to me have stuck in my mind and I'm dwelling on them. And she's bringing up those statements again, So...
Well, my eyes got a little wide reading ahead to the next message.
The continuation of this conversation.
It's like an hour later. No, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
So, she's saying, if I could just pass away, get you out of this mess, all right? And then this whole thing with her bishop. And then her response, if you dying would get me out of this mess and darkness I'm in now, I would take it.
Ouch.
Like, that's not good.
That's rough. And especially when you're like, I kind of thought maybe you would talk me out of trying to die. And instead you're like, oh, phew, hopefully it happens soon. I'm like, oh, ouch.
I think most people who, whether it's truthful or not, like whether they're being sincere or not, when they're telling people they want to commit suicide, that's probably the reaction they're looking for is, no, don't. I don't want you to,
Right, yeah.
And then... court, ... child support doubled. It's been kind of a nightmare because I put my foot down about some things which have caused great waves in the water, a real rocking of the boat. Next day, there's a message from Meggan. I'm doing okay. We just got the estimate back for repairs on my car, and it's about $4,000.
Tack on with those taxes. The money is piling up. And this is February of 2024.
Yeah, and she passes in like the summer.
August,
this year.
Yep. So then we have a week and a half later, and Kacee's talking about her life insurance policy again. I still have over a year paid up on it. I pay 2 years at a time, and I'm not going to let it expire. I'll figure out how to get it paid. I'm hoping I'm not still going to be here in a year, but I wouldn't expect you to pay for it. Kylie doesn't know I have a life insurance policy, and she's already said she would pay for it because she knows you already cashed out that life insurance policy. That's why she asked me if I would be cremated because it would be cheaper. I would never let it expire and leave that on you. And my doctor's appointment last week, they got my blood work and PET scan results back, and it showed that the cancer was in my breast tissue now as well. So obviously things are speeding up pretty quickly. And I don't think my body's going to last too much longer.
Okay.
Month later. I don't know. It's just, I promise I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
It's not going to be too much longer. Like,
at least in a year.
Yeah. Nights are rough. I hope you can find a different job soon, or I hope I can just die within the next few days, because then you can quit your job, and I would honestly love that for you.
You're so sweet. I'd love that too.
What is talking about? I hope I die soon so you can quit your job. You're sweet. I'd love that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds... I'm hoping that it was really I hope you can find a different job soon. And I would love that for you. And she's not actually responding to the specific, I hope I can die within the next few days. It just sounds really bad to have that be the response.
Well, I mean, the end of the sentence or the end of the previous text, I guess it could be, but it ends with, I hope I can just die within the next few days so you can quit your job. I would love that for you. And she says, I'd love that too.
Right.
So I'm like...
And 3 exclamation marks after I'd love that too. Ouch!
I mean, maybe it's like, man, I'd love to quit my job. But,
yeah, and I think that is true. For sure. For sure that's true. So I doubt she's really celebrating the idea of Kacee being dead.
But she's not telling her not to.
Right.
So, I do understand sometimes if you have somebody who's constantly bringing up that they want to die, sometimes you're just like, you stop knowing what to say to respond, and you just kind of, sometimes you're just like, yep, ignore that part and continue.
Right.
Maybe sometimes it's like, well, if I don't give it the attention that they want, then maybe they'll stop bringing it up.
And I think there's also a, Meggan understands that Kacee's on hospice. She's terminal. She's going to die. If there wasn't that story, if it was just like, my life is so painful, I want to die. But it's like, oh, okay, well, she has a condition where she's going to die whether she wants to or not. So that does change things, that it's not like the same as someone just being suicidal and you saying, you have so much to live for. And you're like, yeah, you have so much to live for. But guess what? You don't get a choice because you're terminally ill and you're going to die whether you want to or not. So it isn't the same.
No, you just have to believe that she believes all the bullshit that she tells her about her health. So
yeah, but everyone else does too. So
yeah, but not everyone else is a nurse.
Yeah. I'm just trying to stand up for Meggan a little bit. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt as far as we can, right? Innocent until proven guilty, but the detectives were right. The texts do not look good.
Yes, I would love to give her the benefit of the doubt, but it's really hard. So
yeah. Okay.
Good thing that's not my job. That's your job.
That's right. Okay. I didn't take any long acting, and I was only able to take 2 bottles because I took 4.5 bottles the other day.
Yeah.
This, come on.
Red flag.
And this is no way you took 4.5 bottles of insulin the other day and you're still kicking.
Mm-hmm.
And then that night, I took the other half of that bottle to bring my blood sugar down from all that glucose stuff they gave me. And then I took like 20 units of long acting that same night. So I still have 6.5 bottles of long acting, but I'm out of the fast acting now.
Well, I'd take a few of the long lasting.
Okay, I'm drawing it up right now. Next day.
Kacee, you've completed what you came here to do. It is time to go home. You know that. If you listen to your heart and soul.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There is come on, it's your time. Get out of here. What are you waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
Ow. I know, but there are times I feel so close and then it doesn't happen and I get frustrated. I'm doing everything I can to go home. And honestly, I think taking all these meds are helping and speeding up the process. I just wish it would happen faster.
I know, sweets, and I'm so sorry.
Thanks.
Tomorrow is Easter. Wouldn't that be a beautiful day to pass away on?
Hint, hint.
Mm.
It sure would be. Well, and so I also want to insert here that the hospice story starts in April of 2024.
So she's not on hospice, but I think they mentioned that she's waiting to get on hospice or something. Is that a thing?
I mean, it is supposed to be when they think you have 6 months or less to live that you can qualify to go on hospice. The prosecution and the detectives investigating the case, their theory is that Kacee starts using this as a way to buy herself space from Meggan, that, oh, look, hospice is involved. So now Meggan doesn't have to be actively involved in a dying process for Kacee because we've got these other people who are saying, yeah, we're surprised she didn't die. What's going on? This is crazy. Reporting on her progress and, where she's at and what's going on. So then it kind of gives Kacee a new voice because I think around 5 fake nurses and at least 1 physician all communicate with Meggan, but via whose phone? Kacee's phone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, well, my other thought is that the only reason that Meggan has to really care or want Kacee to actually go through with this, besides, oh, you're in pain and I care about you, is this financial thing.
Right.
So, if she didn't think that she would get any financial gain from it, it's hard to believe that she would be as insistent or supportive as she is.
Right. And I could say that maybe it's not even fully conscious, right? Maybe there's this idea of well, she's suffering. She's dying. She doesn't want to be here. These blessings have said she's done everything that she needed to do. It's her time. She's keeping herself back. Maybe she needs help. And I think there's a weird way that our brains can try and justify things to make what's happening or what we're doing, our engagement, okay and somehow moral and right. And I do believe that Meggan believed that she was doing something moral and right and being supportive. I do believe that.
Right.
Now, the state and the law may not agree with that, but I do believe that internally that's what she believed she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that it would be a lot more moral if she never talked about money at all involving this whole thing.
Yeah.
If there was no gain, if she would get nothing from it, besides the peace of mind that her friend would be in a better place, then it's a little different.
Yeah.
You know? Now, I'm not saying that both things can't be true to a certain extent, but I am saying that to her knowledge, she does stand to gain something that she kind of desperately needs.
Right.
So,
well, and I mean, here's the other thing. I think with Kacee's psychology, right, is this idea of how do I keep Meggan on the hook? And this is a pretty big carrot to dangle out there, $1.5 million. And if Meggan decides, I'm tired of this friendship, you're so much work, I'm not going to engage with you anymore, then poof, that money goes away. Someone else is going to become the beneficiary. She's already invested 10 years of friendship, right? And you think about, okay, the last 3 years of it that we know of, well, 4 years total that we know of, have been talking about the fact that she's dying, that she's trying to die, that she's trying to commit suicide, she wants to die. And so there's been a long drag out. And so I think there's like, oh, how do I keep her engaged in sticking around? And I do think that the money incentive is Kacee's idea of how to keep her invested. And obviously it works, you know, but I do feel like this is the perfect storm friendship, that the two psychologies of these two individuals come together and create this situation that I think is pretty darn unique.
Right. Well, she may believe that she's doing something morally right, even though her religious teachings tell her that suicide is not right. So that is a contradiction there.
Right.
She's obviously not sharing with other people that she's doing this, so she knows other people wouldn't think it's right.
Right.
So she knows somewhere that this isn't right. Her dad wouldn't think it's right, so she's not telling him.
Right.
She's telling the story differently to other people.
Yeah. And I don't remember if I mentioned, but at some point, and I think he only does this on one day, because I think he can tell that people are made so uncomfortable by it. And maybe Meggan was one of those people, or the family that's like, don't say that. But he refers to it as this unholy pact between Meggan and Kacee. And they have this unholy pact that Meggan's going to help her. And, oh, I mean, it just creates this really sick, just feeling of like, maybe we don't call it that. Like, I don't think that actually works in Meggan's favor that you're calling it that. But he keeps trying to use it. And I see him like, why are people resisting this? You know, but I'm like, it's a bad idea. Stop doing that. And, you know, I think he might say it a couple other times in the next day or something, but then he kind of stops using it. I think he switches the words. And I think somebody says something, it might be when he's cross-examining the detective. Someone says something else and gives it another term. And like, okay, well, we'll say agreement, you know, instead of pact or something. And so he kind of switches it up and decides not to keep using that phrase, but
yeah.
Yikes.
So it's just, she's having these conversations, but really these two are the only ones aware. She's not deluded enough to believe that what she's doing is so
okay enough that she would just tell people and know that, oh, they would see too that this is right. Yeah, you're right.
And she also, if she really believed she was on hospice and she was going to die in the next 6 months, she might be able to, well, I'll be patient and then I'll get the life insurance when she dies in 6 months, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, totally.
Now there's the reason for helping with the suicide is also the even if she believes you're going to die anyway, so might as well get the money sooner. You know, I don't know.
Right.
So
I think that it does make sense that she is feeling the money pressure, and maybe that's a little bit more motivating internally, even if she's not really, you know.
And she's only the one time has she brought it up that we've seen so far herself. Kacee is the one who brings it up anytime she talks about money struggles. Yeah. So it's not like she's actively saying it.
I mean, it is kind of like, Kacee, you don't realize what you're doing to yourself here. Like, you're talking someone into something and believing a certain thing and behaving a certain way. And I don't know. I mean, I think they feed into each other in this weird way that ends up in Kacee's death. You know?
I'd need some more proof, I think, before taking action here. But, okay, so then
This starts kind of the medical stuff and the doctor and nurses stuff.
The hospice stuff.
Yep.
Okay. I assume you got your meds and went to bed. I hope you can get some peaceful rest. I'm at work tonight if you need me.
Sorry, I didn't see your text. Which is funny, it's like 4 minutes later.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't see your text.
Maybe it's referring to an earlier text.
4 minutes ago.
That is not relevant, so we don't see it. She's saying, I assume you got your meds and went to bed, which might mean you didn't respond to my previous text because you're asleep.
Right, yeah. That makes sense. Sorry I didn't see your text. I haven't had them yet. I was waiting on Masteller, who's the fictitious... Well, actually, it's her real primary care physician.
Okay.
But he's not a hospice physician.
And not doing this.
Mm-hmm. I was waiting on Masteller, hoping he would let my nurse go home, but he's not going to call. Yeah, he really isn't going to call. He's never going to call. So I guess I'll take my meds and go to bed. Hope you have a good night at work.
I'd sneak to the bathroom and take extra if you can.
I will.
I will. That doesn't look good.
Tonight seems like a good night to take extra meds. It's just weird. It's weird.
Like that. She didn't mention suicide at all there. She brought it up of her own volition.
Yeah. Okay, this is a few days later, and this is Kacee reporting, which this is the most bizarre. I'm like, there is no way. This is the most outlandish, impossible text message. Just around midnight, I took more meds and did a full bottle of long-acting. Here's my vitals from tonight. I don't even... Okay, blood pressure 30/0. No. Heart rate 17. Oxygen 21. You are not typing a text message. There is no way, Meggan. Wake up.
It's a miracle.
This is ridiculous. Okay, temp 87. Okay, whatever. Blood sugar 43. Okay, I've never seen a temperature that low. Wait, it gets lower later. It's like in the 50s. But today, 87, I've never seen a temperature that low. Nurse says it happens near end of life. Last night I had a fever, so I'm not sure how it dropped that low. According to the nurse, that's a sign it's getting close. Anyway, just wanted to give you an update. I'm going to bed. Love ya. You are not typing. You are not sending a text message. This is ridiculous. There's no way that a nurse would get those vital signs and say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, she's probably getting close to death, but she's texting and chipper and whatever. Like, bullshit. That is not reality.
If she had known this, she would have made her nurse text her this. Like,
right.
Hey, I have these vitals on Kacee. But even then, she would have to know what all of this would really mean and what the nurse would really say about this. Like, this is crazy or whatever.
Like, if you don't know that that's ridiculous, that is very concerning as a nurse. Okay, well, and here 2 minutes later, this is Meggan's reply.
I hope this is your time, Kacee. Get some rest, sweets.
And then, okay, 2 days later. Damn, she didn't die. Okay.
Okay, Kacee, you need to go with whoever it is that comes to get you. I'm assuming like a spirit, yeah. Right? Like your parents who are passed or something.
Guiding you back. Yeah.
Okay, you need to go with whoever it is that comes to get you. Do not look back. Do not hesitate. You go. You probably don't remember what you were like after the blessing you got when you first moved in with us, but I do. I believe someone came to take you home, but you wouldn't let go of here. That's why in all of your blessings, you've been told that when you're ready to leave me and Bella and everyone here behind, you can go home. Go, Kacee. Don't look back. Go. It's your time, Kacee girl. Go home. Run home.
And there's like a million exclamation marks, all caps interspersed through this. I'm just like, oh boy. Okay, yeah. She is really...
Gives me chills, really, actually.
Yeah, me too. I'm honestly trying, but if they come to me again, hopefully I will remember and be able to let them know I'm ready and I want to go with them. Like, but I'm so groggy and out of it that I forget that I'm supposed to go.
I forget I'm trying to die.
Yeah.
Leave this crappy world behind and go get busy doing what you need to do beyond. You've got work to do.
Okay. 3 days go by. Still.
I know she doesn't want anyone seeing her this way, but I feel like I need to come and see her. Is she talking to what she thinks is a nurse?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I would wait a little and let her sleep. And then when we do shift change, we can talk to her and have her get a hold of you and see if that would be okay. Would that be okay with you? The prosecution is saying, and I think it makes sense, that she's trying to have an intermediary to put Meggan off somewhat so that either she doesn't clue into the fact that you don't look like you're dying, because I come and see you and then I see evidence that's besides the text messages, right? And so it might be, oh, no, she's sick or she needs to sleep or she whatever, so that keeps Meggan away.
Right. Okay.
This is the next day.
Well, this would have been a good day for me to come up and help you with the insulin. I don't know how you can say there would have to be strong evidence that she did not help in any way. Otherwise, there's too much evidence of her saying she would. So why?
Yes,
what would stop her?
Right.
What would possibly stop her from actually helping?
Yeah. Right. It doesn't make sense, the idea that she would just sit there passively and not be doing anything, because everything she's talking about, especially in 2024, is something that's an active role. And maybe that's why the story ramps up with Kacee, partly is that because now Meggan's wanting to be involved herself, whereas before it was just her telling Kacee, and Casee's claiming that, oh, I tried that, I did that, and oh man, that sucks, that's a bummer.
Now she's like, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, you need help, clearly, and let me help you. But I do feel like this message to me reads like, well, today would have been a good day for me to come up and help you with insulin.
Right.
It does sound a little bit like annoyed that, hey, I had this day, this would have been a good day, but, obviously that didn't happen, which who knows what the messages are surrounding it, but it doesn't sound like a good tone to me. Next day. I was going to tell you yesterday, I kept getting phone calls from my life insurance people, and I couldn't answer because I didn't want Kylie to hear me, but they left a voicemail and said that Mike's payment was processed. And when they noticed that, they realized I had made a payment in November, is what she said. So she said I was caught up for a year and a half and wanted to know if I wanted them to refund Mike for this last payment or just keep it on there. And then if I was to pass away, they would just credit it onto my life insurance policy. So apparently I did pay it. And so now I'm covered for 4 years. Okay, so I may have lied to Kylie and told her I needed it for medical stuff. I can't remember. Anyway, apparently I paid it. So my only worry is if I have them refund Mike, it might mess something else up, and I don't want it to screw up my policy. So should I just call them back and tell them to just leave it paid for the 4 years? And then if anything happens to me, they can just refund it to my life insurance policy? Because when Mike paid it, he said that if I passed away, they would just refund it on the policy or on his card. But because I made a payment from another card, I will just make sure they put everything on the policy. Is that rude to do that to Mike? Because $2,400 is a lot of money. But on the voicemail, they said the only reason they called Mike was because he requested for a phone call next time if it was due so he could help me out. But he never told me that he had requested for them to do that.
Okay. And then...
Oh, okay. Then she continued. You need to get some sleep. I feel like shit. I've literally been sitting here bawling because I don't feel good, and then I get super grumpy, and every time my aunt comes in to ask me questions, and I feel like a jerk, but I just need to try and fall asleep so I feel better.
Well, hopefully you won't need it for 4 more years.
I hope not. I just didn't remember paying it. I remember talking to you about it, and I remember saying I needed to go through all my paperwork and figure out when it was due, and I will get it figured out, and I guess I got it handled, but I forgot. And then when they called Mike to ask him about the payment, they didn't realize that I was already paid up on it. So now they just want to know what to do. I would have them cancel it, but I don't want to mess anything up and end my life insurance policy, so I'll probably just tell them to leave it on so I don't have to worry about it.
So then she says, so in between those 2 texts, so it's that, hopefully you don't have it for 4 years. Oh, I'll be down that way a little bit later this evening. Want me to come by and help you?
Yeah. This is active solicitation. That does feel different to me than I just am supporting you and you're asking me if I will be there and I am agreeing, yes, I will. But this feels like solicitation to me.
Right. At least in these messages that we're shown,
yeah,
she has not talked about suicide, and she's bringing up, I'll come and help you commit suicide.
Yeah, right.
She's just saying, I'm going to fall asleep so I can feel a little better.
Yeah. They may be having other conversations. I don't know, though. The police probably would have put him in, but instead of you let me know, she's saying, hey, I could come help you tonight if you want, instead of waiting for Kacee to reach out to her.
Maybe she means with the insurance stuff. And then she says, I hope not. I just don't remember paying it. Because that does happen after she asks.
Yeah, maybe. And then she says a couple minutes later, yeah, if I don't have a nurse that's going to be sitting here with me, that would be great. Okay. I'm going to try and call right now, and then I'll let you know what the plan is. Hopefully they'll leave me alone and just drop off my meds. So I think it is saying, well, if there's not a nurse here, then
you can come help.
Yeah, then the coast would be clear. But if there's someone here, then obviously we won't be able to do that. And I'll call the life insurance place right now and get that handled as well. We can have the same later.
Okay. Yes, let's do the insulin tomorrow. Let the nurse give you the medicine to help you.
You're totally okay with that? I just don't want to ruin any plans if you have any tomorrow. I know I think way too much into it, but I care about you too. I just want to do what works best for you. But I'm getting 9 bottles, so that should do it, I'm hoping.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that'll do it. I just know the nurse is going to be here soon, so I'm trying to figure out what I should tell her. Okay, now 3 weeks go by. I don't know what happened to those 9 bottles, but okay, this is supposed to be a nurse. Honestly, when we first started, noticing her heart rate and her vitals were so low, we brought in so many different machines and checked her vitals and used a couple different nurses' blood pressure cuffs and things because we're trying to figure out how somebody can be alive with vitals this low. The doctor is even confused.
Oh, gosh. It's a total mystery.
Yeah.
That's just her response. It's a total mystery.
It's not that much of a mystery.
Yeah, it's a total mystery.
But I'm like, okay, is the strategy working that because a nurse is saying, wow, I can't believe it, this is crazy, but here she is, but she's also texting on Kacee's phone.
Right.
So
there's does she, it's hard to say if she really believes.
The other weird thing to me is that Kacee has a very characteristic writing style. Major run-on sentences with lots of anyway and this and that and we're just this and I'm like, listen to this next text message that comes up in this next chunk that's like a couple days later, and I'm like, do you really not get the fact that this is Kacee?
Well, and then we brought in so many different machines and checked her vitals and used a couple different nurses, blood pressure cuffs and things because we're trying to figure out how somebody, it's like, this doesn't feel like what a nurse would say.
That's a very run-on type of sentence, too, that is just very cumbersome, and that's very Kacee.
All right, 2 days later.
We don't have much time left on sedation. I need to go through all of the hours she has used and how many she has left, because they only approved 30 days. But when we took her off of sedation, there were still times we stayed for 4 or 5 hours giving her meds to make sure she was comfortable. So I will figure all of that out while I am here with her, because I need to know the date just in case we have to reapply through her insurance company again to see if they will approve us to stay with her longer or what's going to happen, but I still want to make sure that we get the paperwork in at least 10 days before, even if she still happens to pass away before, knowing we still need it, at least that will give them time to decide if they will approve it, and then we won't have to wait like we did last time. That is one freaking sentence. I mean, that is not no, that is very characteristic. I'm sorry. The insurance company drives me crazy. They want so much paperwork all of the time, and they take forever to make a decision because they don't want to pay for it. Well, guess what? If people pay for insurance, they should get the care they need. Drives me crazy. I hate dealing with insurance companies. Whoa, I mean, come on. That is Kacee. That is Kacee.
This also just feels like not the thing that the nurse would deal with. It would be people above her.
Possibly, but having worked in home health and stuff, oftentimes it is the nurse that's filling out different things. So it just depends on what their role is. There are definitely staff nurses at the bedside that aren't going to do that, but a case manager likely would be involved in some of the paperwork aspect of that. So
I guess she doesn't really say that she's talking directly to insurance, but that's kind of how it reads to me. Maybe it's time to go and get the insulin. Do you think you can get it? So she's talking to the nurse, and then 2 hours later, she's saying maybe it's time to get insulin. Do you think you can get it? And obviously, I would assume she is no longer talking to the quote-unquote nurse at this point.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense if she were. That's not something you would say to, what are you talking about? She's not diabetic. Why would she?
Right.
Why would we get insulin for her? The pharmacy's out of stock on the insulin. They said they could order it for me, but could take anywhere between 7 and 10 days. She's buying herself some more time, it looks like to me.
So this is also where it comes into, is this even assisted suicide? Because does she actually want to die?
Right. I mean, and this is one of the things that the prosecution is pointing out, that she's stalling, she's delaying, she's giving excuses. This is one of the things that shows us Kacee didn't actually want to die. She's trying to come up with reasons to put it off, and Meggan is pushing the point, and it's not Kacee pushing the point.
Mm-hmm.
And I see why they say that. It does sound like that to me when we read these messages too. It supports that theory.
Especially if she has access to insulin in her house. So,
yeah.
Okay, can they transfer it to a different pharmacy?
We gotta get that insulin ASAP. Okay, and then we skip a few weeks.
Okay. Case, can you get the insulin? They're keeping you off for 48 hours. Let's try it. I'll come and help you and give it to you regularly and see if it works.
Yeah, that one is a damning text message in my mind, because she's talking about actively doing it herself, giving it to her regularly to see if it works. And she's bringing it up because, hey, they're keeping you off of that sedation thing for 48 hours. So we have a window to try this. And this is June of 2024 that she's saying that. Okay, and that's the only message that we have of that chain. And then we go a couple more weeks. Yeah, I think Becky was trying to tell me that, but I couldn't stay awake or focus on what the hell she was saying.
Ha ha ha, I can understand that.
Yeah, I just hope it will help, but where my body doesn't absorb medication good, I feel like we've tried it so many times and it just doesn't work. So I don't know if we should wait and do it after that surgery or just do it. I just hate to waste $900 if it doesn't work.
But if we try the insulin, I want to make sure that I come and help you do it.
Yeah, I would appreciate that, because then if I'm asleep, you can give me the rest of what I need.
Right, but I want you to decide if you actually want to try it before the surgery.
I do, but I would hate for it not to work and waste all that money and not be able to get any more. So then a part of me wonders if we should just wait and do it after the surgery. Honestly, I don't know what to do. Okay, so she's talking about this surgery that she says Dr. Masteller is trying to set up for her so that her body can better absorb medications so that it will allow her to die. So she's saying, oh, well, maybe because I haven't had this surgery, then the medications aren't going to work well. That's probably the problem before, is that my body just doesn't metabolize things normally. And so maybe I should wait until after they arrange the surgery, which is like, what doctor is getting you a surgery so that you can absorb medications better in order to be able to kill yourself?
Is that even a surgery?
No,
that's what I'm. So I'm just blink. Like, yeah. There's no, what does that even mean? My surgery to absorb medication better. What? Yeah, what are they operating on?
Right. Okay, so this is, now we're mid-July.
Maybe there's something wrong with her port and they're doing, yeah.
Nope. Okay. Nope. She knows it's not that it's something else that she's described.
Oh,
that
gosh.
Is not a real thing.
Oh, I'm just looking at this next text.
Right. Okay, so this is 7/18, so July 18th. This is less than a month before Kacee's death.
Okay.
Hey, Meg, it's Kelly. I just wanted to let you know that I will be here tonight with Kacee. These are her vitals right now. Heart rate, 9. Oxygen, 6. Blood pressure, 19/14. Temp, 78.6.
Okay, thank you.
What? She's dead. I mean, she's dead in like 10 minutes. She's dead. I have taken blood pressure readings like this, and I had to turn to the family and say, she's not going to wake up. This blood pressure, and the blood pressure wasn't even quite that low. I think it was 40 over something. And I was like, okay, let me explain what I'm seeing here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because they kept saying, oh, but she just needs some rest. She's going to wake up. And I'm like, she's not going to wake up. They were putting off wanting to do something and intervene, and we're encouraging them, no, you need to do something. And I was like, no. She's actually in the process of dying right this second while we're standing here. And she did die that day. But this is active dying. You are not coming back from this.
Yeah, and so you would think if this is a real nurse, she would also be like, yeah, it doesn't look like she's going to make it through the night.
Right.
if you wanna come over and whatever, like say goodbye, things like that. Like
yeah. Okay, and this is interesting too. So the next thread that we have is from July 26th, and this is the day after Kacee has her knee replacement. Meggan does not know that she had a knee replacement. She believes, which you'll hear some reference to this, she was told that one of the hospice nurses dropped her and she broke her leg in 3 places. And so she had to have surgery to pin it and whatever. So I think she realizes that Meggan would know that they would not give a hospice patient a knee replacement surgery. So she's smart enough to recognize that, oh, I have to come up with some other reason that I'm in the hospital. So you may see some things that she's saying that make sense in this context. Okay. So she says, yes, sorry, it's been a bad day, been crying and in a ton of pain, went to bed early.
I'm really worried about you, Kacee. Do you want to try the insulin?
I can't. I'm in the hospital. And I'm being monitored at all times. I do. I just don't want to do it until after I see and talk to Masteller tonight. And I don't know if she's actually told her yet about the fake fall because she's not actually admitting yet that she's at the hospital. I don't know. That's the way it reads to me at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to try to come and help you tomorrow?
I'll let you know after I talk to Masteller tonight.
Okay, no pressure. Just here if you need me.
I appreciate that. I honestly just don't know if it will work. Hell, even an epidural wouldn't numb me.
Because I don't process medication.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just like, no pressure, but lots of pressure. You dying could solve all of my financial problems.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. Oh, we aren't trying to numb you, Kacee. We're trying to help you pass.
Yeah. I mean, if you weren't sure what the goal was, she's making it clear. Okay, next day.
No, you just asked me to help you today, which you've done several times, and I plan on coming to help you and end up waiting all day to hear from you and never do. It's just frustrating sometimes. I'm not stressed, but I'm sorry you are. I don't think you want to try to off yourself, and I completely understand that.
Yeah, I mean, the state is saying she knew that Kacee really didn't want to commit suicide. She says it right here, and this is 2 weeks before she actually dies, that she's like, I don't believe you. I don't think you want to do it, and that's fine. So I'm going to do it. I don't know.
Honestly, it is like, even she is vocalizing like, it doesn't seem like you want to kill yourself. You keep telling me you want me to do it, but then I wait around all day. And so honestly, if you don't want to kill yourself, just say it, basically.
Right. I mean, this tone, it feels like today would have been a good day for me to come and help with insulin. It's like, no, you just asked me to help you today, which you've done several times. And I plan on coming to help you and end up waiting all day to hear from you and never do. It's just frustrating sometimes. And then, oh, I'm not stressed though. I'm not stressed. I'm like, well, it kind of sounds like you are, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so next day. Hi, Meg. This is Dr. Malcolm Masteller.
No.
Yeah.
Why? No, that's not. This would be a call from his own office phone number.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is so, I don't know, yeah.
And
I mean, why? What doctor is going to be like, oh, let me use your phone to it doesn't make any sense.
And now I'm thinking of the person that we know that had a similar lies.
Very deliberate stories about healthcare things, medical things, and went to great lengths, created fake people, created fake Facebook accounts.
Pregnancies.
Fake pregnancies, multiple.
I can so see this as a message that she would send you, and there's no way you would buy it.
No, and actually that's exactly the situation. When she would say things like that, I would say, that doesn't make sense. Wait, you're telling me that you went into the ER because of, I can't remember, what reason she gave, and they ended up giving you an ultrasound for babies, right? They did an ultrasound of your uterus, and they printed out pictures that were labeled baby A and baby B. The ER does not give a flying beep if you are pregnant and giving you pictures of baby A and B. That makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm telling her, this doesn't make sense. Of course, she keeps spinning things, but I'm like, this is not adding up. And it was not very much later that I found the proof that it was all made up.
I got the baby pictures from Google.
That's right. The very first one in the search.
Yeah. And
what? That looks just like yours. I hope you're not listening right now.
I hope you are.
If you are, I'm talking about somebody else. Yeah.
I feel like if you in this situation, or Megan in the situation this is all about, was not a nurse, then you might, okay.
Right.
I don't know that.
You don't know any better, right?
I didn't know if they would give you an ultrasound in the ER or not. I don't know. But you do. So you would know, and Megan should also know.
Right. Well, and she's trying to prove it to me later. Okay, so it does. This is like the pattern that she's trying to further convince me, but it's not going to work because I'm nurse. She shows me paperwork. Look, here's paperwork. And it shows that my HCG levels from the lab are this, that proves that I am pregnant or whatever. Well, it's like, it's a totally different font than everything else on that paper. It's stuck in there and it just says like positive. It doesn't have a number. I'm like, this is not how it works. This is not what it says. I'm like, you did this. Oh, what? No, I mean, yeah. So then what do? You threaten, I'm going to put a restraining order on you type of crazy behavior,
That's what she does.
That's what she did. Yeah.
Right.
And then I should have done it to her. Yeah. Anyway.
Feel like,
whatever.
Great, I actually don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Please.
So, hi Meg, this is Dr. Malcolm Masteller. Immediate. Right. I'm so sorry, but Kacee, I know this is you. He would not text me from your phone. I'm sorry.
I know, it's just weird.
Like, I love you so much, and I know you're going through some stuff, but I have to push back on this. I know that your doctor did not just text me. Also, why her out of all these?
Right.
Let me text your friend really quick.
Yeah, because she's the best friend, and she's a nurse, too. Right. So, okay. Hi, Meg. This is Dr. Malcolm Masteller. Kacee hasn't been doing well at all today, and I ended up bringing her to American Fork Hospital. She's already there.
I brought her there.
She's had surgery. Yeah, she's there because she had a knee replacement. Because I couldn't get a catheter in her, which may be true. Maybe they couldn't get a catheter in her when they were trying to do her surgery. And she's like, ooh, good one. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get a catheter in her, and she's been retaining so much fluid and can't pee, which is making her leg pain a lot worse. Anyway, that's a very Kacee. Mm-hmm. Say this long sentence and then say, anyway, I'm trying to convince the doctors to approve her for the spleen and intestine surgery. Oh. That's the magic surgery we wanted to do and fix her knee while we were at it.
We're in the same area, so,
We just I don't know. We've been here for 11 hours, and I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I feel like I'm getting pretty close, so we've been running tests. They are doing an ultrasound on her leg right now because it's completely red and purple. Yeah, because you just had a knee replacement surgery. And they were checking for a blood clot. Anyway, she told me if you messaged her to respond. So when she gets back from ultrasound, I will have her get a hold of you.
Do they do ultrasounds on knees?
They do ultrasounds on your blood vessels if they think you have a blood clot in your leg. So I've had that done before. And then he responds again, which I think there's something about, and I don't know where it is, but I think there was a message about like, how does this happen that nurses drop her like that or something like that, that Megan has said. Sometimes the film was so bad that I just couldn't capture what the message said. I have no idea. I got in an argument with Dr. Robinson about them neglecting her, and he wouldn't say much. So I gave Kacee referrals to other hospice companies, and I hope she'll choose a different one. But I told her I would take care of her until she got things figured out. Even when she has a new hospice company, I will still work with her, but I don't want her to be in this much pain. It's not fair to her.
No, it's definitely not. I wish she could just be set free from all of this. It's so heartbreaking to watch.
I agree. I've tried everything I can without breaking the law. So we need to get the surgery done so that her body will absorb the medications and she can pass. She just got back. Do you want to talk to her now?
Is she up to it?
I will hand her the phone and we can see. So they said the radiologist is going to hurry and read her scan, and then he will come in and talk to us, and then we'll be able to leave. So hopefully it's not too much longer. It was good talking to you. I guess Kacee didn't want to talk to her. It was good talking to you. If you have any questions, feel free to get my personal number from Kacee and you can call me. Because if you call the office, we don't allow the receptionist to let patients talk to us because we're usually busy. But I always have my cell phone. So this is the workaround. You can't just call my office to try and talk to me because our standard policy is they're not going to let you talk to me. So you have to. But I always have my cell phone, which he does say, get the personal number from Kacee. So
right. There's no way for you to go and verify this from a reliable, for sure source.
Oh, just wait. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't call his doctor's office and get him. You're going to have to message this number that I tell you is his number.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think I should come up and be with her tonight, or do you think she'll be okay?
My only concern is wondering how long she has to recover from spleen surgery and intestine surgery, so I wanted her to be comfortable if that was going to take a while before we could give her the medications, but I will do some research and we can talk about options tomorrow. Honestly, I don't think you need to come and be with her. I think she'll be just fine. She literally falls asleep before I finish giving her the medication, but I put your number in my phone and I will follow up with you tomorrow. So
another, don't come over.
Yeah, don't come to the hospital. You know, you can't come to the hospital because the jig will be up. Because you'll see that, oh, wait a minute, you're on the ortho floor. You haven't had spleen and intestine surgery. You had a knee replacement. Yeah, it's all falling apart. Okay, so I know it's been a really, really long time. And you guys can push pause if you want. And you can take a break. The equivalent to that would be in the courtroom, the judge would take an afternoon break. And he turns to the jury after it's been hours of reading through these text messages and says, okay, well, so we haven't had our afternoon break. You guys have been going for a few hours. Do you guys need a break? You want to stop? And they're all like, nope.
This is juicy.
They're like, keep it coming. We are locked in. And I think, yeah, like the defense knows that is not a good sign for them, that they're like, nope, we're not tired. We're not bored of listening to these text messages. This is the stuff that we want to hear. So like, ooh, okay. That was telling to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. This is the next day.
I know it sounds so dumb, but I saved up for these pants I really, really wanted at the Buckle. And I'm taking them back right now because I can't afford groceries for my family. So it kind of sucks.
I'm so sorry. How much are the pants? Like $300? Do you have your Venmo card on you? I sent you $320. Might be less because my credit card wouldn't let me send it unless I turned on like scam protection. And sometimes they take a small fee when you do that. So I'm like, she's, sending her money because she feels bad. She's trying to help her so she can buy some special pants.
Notice that this is the first time her reaction was not, well, if I could just die, you get money,
right.
You could keep your pants.
Yeah. Okay. Day after that.
Was it the next day?
So it was the 29th of July that she sends her money for pants.
Okay. I was like $28 and some change shy at checkout. So embarrassing. But this super cute little older lady behind me ended up making the difference.
Yeah.
So again, just showing her financial strain.
I'm $28 or $26, whatever that says, dollars short. And, I can't even buy groceries, right? That's even with the $300 that Kacee sent her the day before. Okay, next day. Thanks. I was thinking maybe I should start drawing all that insulin up and just freaking do it and get it over with because I have no idea how much longer the surgery is going to take to get approved. I can tell you it's never going to get approved because it does not exist. I mean, I guess it got approved, but we don't know when it's going to be.
The doctor is, tell me more about this surgery. Seriously, I wish we just knew something.
Because it's going to take me hours to draw up 38 bottles of insulin. Come on. Maybe more. I need to count them. I know it's at least 38 bottles, though. That is 38,000 units of insulin.
That's...
No.
3,800 times the amount you would need to kill yourself or something.
Right. And you think about how many syringes you would need to draw up. Okay, yeah, and Megan notices this too, because her reply.
Yeah, I think you should let me come and help you do that. We seriously need to get some bigger syringes and needles.
Yeah, because, woo, those little teeny itty bitty needles, they don't hold very much, and if we're giving you 38 bottles of insulin, It's going to take time. Maybe I should text Masteller real fast because he usually texts me around 5:30 in the morning, and if I'm sleeping, I don't get it until later, but I'm guessing that's when he's getting ready to leave for work.
What, to get some bigger needles?
Right. Pretty please?
Do you think I could borrow some needles?
Uh-huh. Okay, so now we have 8/5. This is midweek of the week before she dies.
Okay, and this is 4 days later.
Uh-huh.
Here's where you and I differ the most, I think. And it's the same with Mitch. You two are actually so alike. Your focus is the now. Like, you want relief now. Whereas I was focused on doing the insulin because it's a long-term solution, so not just for the now.
It's for the now, and it's for the later.
You need a permanent solution, Kacee girl. And also, I'm like, I think you're thinking about the now as far as you need the money now.
And then this is Friday, right? This 8/9 is Friday, right?
I don't know.
10, 11, yeah. So 8/9 is Friday.
Okay. My thought was give them until Thursday night, and if you still don't have a plan from then, try the insulin over the weekend.
That works for me.
Have you decided what you want to do so I know how to plan for the weekend?
I know you said you would help me decide, but that was before we got more information today, so I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, and Masteller did send me an email today and said if I wanted to do the surgery sooner, I could fly to Spokane and have it done. Honestly, I don't know if I want to do that. How uncomfortable is that going to be, flying home after a major surgery? So anyway, I'm just racking my brains trying to figure out what would be the best thing to try and do, or just say F it and do the insulin and pray to God it works.
If you wanted to have the surgery sooner than what?
A week. He said it would probably only be a week before they could do it here. He was waiting to hear back on if they got a surgery room scheduled at the U of U, and then he would let me know. Or I can fly out there and get it done in a few days, so I'm just trying to figure out what to do. I just know a dang plane ride with my leg the way it is, it's going to hurt going, and then being in pain from the other surgeries coming home is going to be worse.
But he said it would only be a week last week. I think flying to Washington for the surgery is a crazy idea.
That's what he thought, and he only got home on Monday, so I guess he was wrong. So that's what he thought, was it was going to be a week last week. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what he thought, and he only got home Monday, so yeah, I guess he was wrong. Sorry, I'm super grumpy today. I don't have any meds, and I'm sick as hell. I can't sleep, and I can't stop throwing up. I'm trying to figure all this shit out, and my memory sucks.
But again, these are just my opinions.
Like I said, I think it is too. He said if I wanted it sooner, I could fly out in a day or two.
What do you have to lose trying the insulin? You didn't pay $900 for it, which is a huge blessing.
Maybe I'm overanalyzing this whole situation, but I just know how my body is and that my body doesn't respond to anything anymore. And I have tried the insulin so many times that I'm afraid it's not going to do anything. I'm stressed out, sorry.
But if it doesn't work and you end up having the surgery, they're going to give you medication after the surgery to help you pass anyway, so you're not going to need the insulin after surgery. You've never tried that much insulin before, Kacee. 38 bottles of it.
Yeah, right. She's going to wonder when she gets there, wait, I only see one. Where's the 37 other bottles?
Well, also...
I drew them up. Here they are.
Also, she's under the impression that they're going to give her the surgery to just give her medication to die.
Right.
Which is craziness, and why would they actually do that?
Right. But then it's also like, well, if you're going to have that surgery next week and she's going to die in a week, then what's the rush? Like, why? You know, it's weird to say like, yeah, okay, there's a risk. You're going to do something to actively end your life. Meanwhile, unless she's calling BS, like, I don't believe you.
That's my thought.
You know, which I want to take her at her word and say, oh, well, she's just like, well, you have this. Once they do the surgery, then you won't need to worry about the insulin anyway because you're going to die. But then it's like, well, then what's the point of doing the insulin? You
exactly.
know?
If she really believed that this was going to happen, then why does she need to kill herself if she's going to go die in a way, a self-proclaimed way that might be more peaceful because she's afraid of dying in the way that you die from an insulin overdose. So,
yeah. Right. Kacee continues. About you've never tried that much insulin before. That's true, but a part of me is still worried. What if the surgery doesn't work? That's true, I haven't, but 9 bottles would kill a normal person. Hell, even 1 would, and 9 didn't even do it. Like I said, I'll do it. I just hope I don't wake up, because I'm just going to be disappointed.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else that's keeping you from doing it, and that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's that I don't want to die. That's the thing.
Yep.
I promise you there isn't. I'm just stressed out because nothing's working, and I'm tired of waking up every freaking day feeling like freaking shit and nothing working.
So you're out of meds, and you're going to have to go the whole weekend without any meds?
I called Masteller and asked him if he would bring me some tonight because I was out, and he said he would drop them off, but it might not be until 11:30. Does this sound familiar, the type of sentence? But I did that because if we were going to do the insulin, I wanted to have the medication on hand as well. So don't think I'm planning on not doing the insulin. I'm just trying to figure out what to do. Last we talked, you said, let's wait and see what he says on Thursday, but I couldn't get in to see him until today. Wasn't sure if you wanted to wait and do the surgery or do the insulin, and then you said, well, I told you what I thought, and honestly, I don't remember. So I've just been trying to figure out everything and go through our messages, but I delete most of the insulin messages most of the time, just in case anyone goes through my phone. So I feel like you're getting mad at me, and I'm not trying to make you upset, and I'm not saying I won't do the insulin this weekend. I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth it to wait and do the surgery, if it will be soon, or just do the damn insulin, and if it doesn't work, then I guess we do the surgery. I've just been going through a lot, and I'm stressed, and this has been screwing with me mentally and emotionally.
But the way I see it is you have nothing to lose doing the insulin, because if it doesn't work, then you'll be having the surgery. After the surgery, you're going to be getting different medications to help you pass, so you're just going to have 38 bottles of insulin sitting around.
Yeah, that who in the world would use in a house full of diabetics? Right. I don't even know. It would just go to waste. Okay, what day and time do you want to do the insulin? We'll just do it and see what happens.
I'm not saying you have to do the insulin. I'm just trying to help you think through it. Kacee, do you want to give this stuff a try? I'm not trying to pressure you. Just think through things.
I ended up falling asleep early, so this is the next day. So she just stops answering, and it was 10:30 that night that Meggan asked her, do you want to try and give this stuff a try? And then it's the next day, 4:11 a.m. So she says, so maybe she did end up falling asleep. I ended falling asleep early because my meds showed up at 9. So when you messaged me, I was trying to stay awake. I'm sorry. I didn't realize the meds would work that fast. Anyway, send me a text when you get this, and we will figure out what the plan is on when we're starting.
So do the meds can you absorb medication or can you not?
Right.
Your body is selective.
Now, this is interesting to me. This statement right here, it's 4:36, so it's like 5 minutes, and I can't tell what this means.
I'm here, just don't want to wake you.
I'm like, are you here literally? Are you outside of the house? Or I'm awake working, possibly, right? And, oh, I'm here, I'm available, I just didn't want to keep texting and risk waking you up. That's probably most likely. But
I mean, it's right after she wakes up, though, so what do you mean?
Right.
I don't know. That is just weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, okay. Send me a text when you get this. I'm here. Just don't want to wake you. So,
okay.
But, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I feel bad. When I was texting you, I fell asleep, and it was literally within 2 minutes, but I took a double dose of promethazine and Xanax and some pain meds, and it knocked me out, which she may have.
Then you're just fine.
I hope this doesn't wake you, and this is at 8 a.m., so Meggan was probably working that night. I hope this doesn't wake you. Just wondering if you decided a day or time to do this. I just want to make sure I get everything ready.
Kacee, do you want to try the insulin? I'm not trying to pressure you at all. I'm just trying to help you think things through. She just copied and pasted the same text, basically.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. I'm not trying to be annoying and bugging you, but I know this has been stressful for you, and you feel like I can't make up my mind because I can't. I'm trying to figure out what the best thing to do is, but I understand if you don't want to deal with it because it's stressful and you think I'm not going to do it. I am, and I can just do it myself if you don't want to now. I've asked you like 5 times in the last day what day and time works best for you, and you haven't responded to that question, so I don't know what you're thinking now. So I apologize that I stressed you out because I was so worried about upsetting Masteller and not doing what he wants me to do, or upsetting you, but it's not like I love living like this, so I can just push everything through my port. But I was just curious because I wanted to start drawing up all the bottles because I know it's going to take hours and I need to do some laundry. Why? and a couple of things. So I just wasn't sure what you want to do. But at the same time, it's your last weekend with Porter before he starts school. So I get that too. Anyway, you just let me know what you think, because I'm probably thinking all of the wrong things. And then she continues, yeah, I've been asking you like 4 or 5 times since last night, and I wasn't sure if you were just ignoring me because you thought I didn't want to do it. Anyway, I was sending that text before you sent me that last one.
So for me, now it's like, okay, now it's like she does. She's like, yes, I do. I also feel like Meggan's kind of giving up on her or leaving her. And so it's this, I do want to do it. When can you come over?
Right.
And not because she probably actually wants to die.
Right.
And then there's this whole thing of like, okay, I'll draw it up before you come. And then later we talk about how she's making searches about what happens if you inject yourself with
just saline.
With saline. So
she does that search on 8/11, which is the night before she dies, or well, before the incident, the day of the incident, right? When the injections were given. And that's when she's supposedly drawing up all of the insulin. It does seem most likely that she's drawing up a bunch of syringes of saline.
Right, because
to have it ready and prepped, because otherwise, where does she have this 38 bottles? That's ridiculous that you would have 38 bottles of insulin. So she has to have it all drawn up and those bottles, quote unquote, disposed of, or else it wouldn't make sense, right?
Right, and it's also this like, okay, she doesn't believe me anymore that I want to do this, and now, okay, this is like ramping it up even more. This is the step that, okay, if she comes with me and she sees me do it and I don't die because it's saline,
right,
then she's gonna at least still believe that I want to do it. I just did it. I didn't die.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, because now saying I did it and it didn't work isn't working. It's not putting her off anymore. It's like, I'll come do it. So,
right.
All right. And then this is right after, same day?
Yep.
Okay. No, not at all. And you haven't been stressing me out. I don't know if my text came off short because I was using talk text in the truck and it's loud and sometimes doesn't pick the messages up well. So I usually try to keep them short. I'm here to help you, Kacee. I can make it work today, tomorrow, Monday even. You just tell me what you're most comfortable with and you don't have to draw it up all by yourself. I would come and help you.
But I didn't do anything. Okay, if we could do it tomorrow, that would be best for me. You just let me know what time.
Absolutely fine with me. I will come and help you anytime you want me to. And if you change your mind and decide you aren't comfortable trying it, that is absolutely okay. You just let me know where you're at with it mentally and emotionally.
Okay, next day, which is Sunday, is the day they were supposed to do it, but now all of a sudden we can't. I just need to know if we can change until tomorrow now. I spent most of the night drawing up the insulin. Anyway, my grandpa just came down to tell me to get ready because we have family coming over that are in town. So we could either do it later on today or tomorrow. I didn't know he had family coming over because I can't go upstairs much with my leg like this. Let me know if you can do later on today or tomorrow. Anyway, I stayed up most of the night. Yeah, we heard that because I knew you would be here early, but now I'm thinking we need to wait a little bit since my grandpa's brother and family are coming over. So I just wanted to know if you're okay with that and if you're okay with doing it later tonight or if you'd rather do it tomorrow. Just let me know when you see this. I'm sorry. I know we already had plans figured out. I wish I would have known about my family stuff, but my fault because apparently I slept most of the day away yesterday. Also, when you see this, if you can call me, I wanted to explain kind of how I was doing insulin, just so that you can tell me if I'm doing it right, or if you want me to stop, and then we'll finish it when you get here.
Hey, we can do it later today. Tomorrow would be a bit more challenging just because of the car situation.
Okay, hopefully they won't stay long. It's Kylie's birthday. This is the saddest. I'm like, it's her birthday, and the very next day that happens. It's just terrible. I'm glad it didn't happen on Kylie's birthday, but it's Kylie's birthday, so I know we're having dinner or lunch and like birthday cake and stuff for her while they're here, but hopefully they'll be gone by like 2 or 3. Do you want me to keep you updated? I have everything ready, and this was at 1:35 p.m., so just afternoon. I have everything ready. Now I'm getting irritated because I don't have meds from Mass Stellar, so I feel horrible. I just want to do this and pray it works. I just wish Kylie could get off work sooner because the rest of the family is here. They're just visiting while we wait for Kylie's family.
I can try to figure something out for tomorrow, but I really don't know how it would work.
I was going to maybe ask my grandpa if he has doctor's appointments tomorrow or anything going on. And if not, maybe I could bring my card to you tonight. I just want to figure something out because I was hoping to do it early this morning. I don't know why they can't tell me shit beforehand. They never tell me until like the day of, like if family is coming into town or we're doing a family birthday party.
They probably figure you'd be around anyway.
I was just going to tell him that I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, and he knows your car is not working because I yelled at him when he wanted to borrow it because I told you you could borrow it first. So I was just going to say that you were going to take me to my appointment because I have something I have to get done, and then you were going to watch me. He's had a lot of doctor's appointments lately because of the boating accident, and he's having a major surgery. I don't even know if there was a boating accident. That's interesting. I'm not exactly sure when it's scheduled. I think they're trying to get him in soon because they had to amputate part of one of his toes when he had that boating accident because he had an infection in his bone. And then the blood test he had done, they found out that he had that heart thing I was telling you about, and that his doctor made the whole family get tested for it. I don't think this is true. Anyway, that is what was cutting off his blood circulation to his foot. So he has an open heart surgery coming up. I think you might have to delay. And he's going to be in the hospital for 5 days, but I don't know when that is. So if he doesn't have anything going on, I can just tell him I need to let you use my car so you can take me. And when we get home, you will be with me to make sure I'm doing okay. And if I can bring it to you tonight, I can have Kylie follow me down. That way, you don't have to bring me home, and then I can make her bring me home. I'm just trying to get him to quit talking to his brother for a minute so that I can talk to him about it. Sorry I keep texting you. You're probably at church. Text me when you get done and I'll let you know what I figured out.
That probably won't work out. That's a lot of relying on other people. I can see if Mitch can work from home and my dad can watch Porter tomorrow. I'll have to see about my dad, though.
If my grandpa doesn't have anything going on, Kylie's not going to mind giving you a ride to your place until she does.
I think she would mind. Okay, my dad can watch Porter tomorrow morning.
And then the next morning, there's a couple messages from Meggan, and the first one of those was that she would be there in a few minutes. And then the very last text message from Meggan to Kacee, and this is the last one that they enter into evidence.
Do you want to take some promethazine when I get there so that you're asleep when it's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Okay, y'all are troopers. This is a lot of text messages, but I have to say that day in the courtroom was just brutal on the family. And I felt like the parents in particular. I could be reading it wrong. It may have been Megan's mom's back was hurting or something, but she was like folded in half, just like looking down at the floor. And at the end of the day, normally they would get up. Her dad would hold the doors and say goodbye to people and, chat with them as they were leaving the courtroom. But on this day, they did not move. They stayed in their seats, and I felt like they just couldn't face anyone or they didn't want to interact with anyone. It was just rough to hear this. And this is how they ended the day, was with the end of these messages. So there was really no cross-examination. There's no anything to buffer this at all. It's, okay, we're done for the day. Come back tomorrow. It's like, it's just, I felt really bad for them. Apparently, they didn't know any of this information. And then maybe you have some idea that there's some talk about some of this stuff and this idea of it. But this is, what are you thinking when you're listening to this? Are you really still thinking that it's what Meggan said, that she was just there, she knew what Kacee's plan was, but she actually didn't do anything? But you hear all of this stuff that just does not seem realistic at all. And meanwhile, for a whole year and plus, because it's all the way from August, not just since she was arrested, but all the way from August of 2024, that you have heard this other story from her about Kacee being in the bathroom and you're not sure what happened and she was woozy and wobbly and you helped her get in bed and then she just got worse and worse. She has not told you? Wait a minute. So actually there's this. How blindsided would I feel as a parent if I just found this stuff out and maybe it was kind of like couched in a soft way, trying to like, hey, you know, maybe not. And then you hear the details of it is pretty bad for Meggan.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't know, you've been maybe supporting and wanting to believe or pronouncing maybe, you know, her innocence and all of this, and just like, ooh,
yeah,
well, it didn't have all of the information, and, you know, they can still process this information and come to their own conclusions later, but that's just a lot.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they're still holding on to hope that, okay, it's going to be okay. I can't accept the idea that she actually did anything she said she didn't, so I believe her. I don't know. It's hard. Like I said, these are really good people, and I think Meggan's a good person too. And I always had positive interactions with her. But it's unsettling. It's disturbing, the content of these text messages. And I think it makes it hard to sit back and say, I don't think she had anything to do with it. But I have to say at this point, they have not read exactly what the state has to prove in order for different charges. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it was still like, yeah, it looks bad. But I don't know whether it's going to be enough to meet whatever burden the state has to meet. Mm-hmm. I don't really know, but it was a rough day, and I just came home with like, I don't know how she's going to recover from that. I just don't know, because that was just brutal information, and I don't know how, I don't know what's going to come next, but.
Yep. No question why she was deleting those messages.
Yeah, right. Well, and the defense in their cross-examination of the detective and of other people too involved kept saying, like, well, don't you think that Meggan knew that they had Kacee's phone, and so she knew even if she deleted those messages that the police had Kacee's phone and they were going to see all these messages anyway, so therefore it's not really obstruction of justice because she just was scared. She acted in a panic. And it was stupid, but she knew that the evidence wasn't actually destroyed because they had Kacee's phone, and she knew that they would find it all out anyway. But then you have this message that's right near the end of this whole thread, right before the death, that says, I delete most of the messages that have to do with insulin because I don't know who might get into my phone and see things, which I'm surprised that the state didn't highlight that Kacee told Meggan, I delete the text messages to do with insulin. Therefore, Meggan may have felt comfortable that if she deleted text messages that dealt with insulin, that they would not be found.
Yeah. Also, even if you are deleting evidence in panic, that's still obstruction of justice. You're still trying to hide things.
Right. So I'm definitely, it's like, well, I don't think you can avoid the obstruction of justice charge. You know, now
it's almost
maybe
like, why even try?
Yeah. Maybe it doesn't fit into these other categories. Maybe there was not enough, right? We haven't heard the full case yet. This does look bad, but that's what the detectives said when they sat with her. Like, it doesn't look good. Granted, they had not reviewed all 29,000 text messages at that point when they said it, because this was days within, you know, her death, and they'd seen some text messages, but the 4 years had not gone through all of those yet. Mm-hmm. And it was the pattern of like all of this stuff together, I think, that added up. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. And maybe it does just look bad and everything else is going to change the outlook. And we're going to say, yeah, okay, it does look bad, but it still doesn't meet the requirement.
Sure.
But certainly obstruction of justice. And here's the other thing. On an iPhone, if you delete your messages, if you're a crook, and don't listen to this and take my advice, but if you delete text messages, they're still there in a recently deleted folder. And so if she was in a panic and she's deleting these messages, she deletes them. Well, they're still there unless you then go to the recently deleted folder and then you delete them a second time. Mm-hmm. So that to me shows you're thinking clearly enough to go through 2 steps and going, oh, I know that if I don't delete this a second time, that they're still going to be there on my device. And
so I'm assuming she did do this. She did go and
correct.
delete more.
She had to have. And there were hundreds of messages that were missing from her phone compared to Kacee's phone. And we know that she was doing it after she met with the police the first time.
So were they able to recover things, or there are things that were lost?
Not be able to recover from her phone. But the thing is, Kacee didn't delete the text messages. Or if she did delete some, she left a whole hell of a lot on there that was problematic and had to do with life insurance, insulin, and suicide.
Yeah.
So,
and I just wasn't sure if, like, are they still in a cloud somewhere that they could get access to with, like, police, whatever.
Nope, not with iPhones, at least. Maybe I need to switch to an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not a criminal, so I don't really care.
Maybe.
I'm deleting this. This is incriminating evidence. Anyway.
That's obstruction of justice, Mom. You can't delete it.
Woo. Okay, so, we're having a couple of marathon episodes here because we want to get all the text messages in one, and that means we need to combine all of the info that's pre-text message together so that we can keep all of the text messages together. And then we're going to finish out the case with a few more experts that the state calls, and then the defense does call a couple witnesses. So you need to come back and listen to those. And if you're super grateful that we let you listen to these text messages all in 1 week, you know what you can do? You can you can follow, you can share with your friends, tell them this is a really cool podcast, you really want to listen. You could leave us a great review on Spotify or whatever platform you listen on.
You can come follow us on Instagram.
That's right. Leave some comments there. We really want to hear what you're thinking about the case, where you're leaning. Argue with us if you want to. I don't care. I'll fight you.
Yeah, we might argue. I don't know.
We'll probably say, you know what? That's a really good point. Because
I meant I might argue with you.
Oh, yeah. You always argue with me.
I'm saying this from a place of not having heard everything yet. So
yes, that's right. So again, thank you so much for taking your precious time to hang out with us here on Hung. I am Christie.
I'm Maryn.
And you've been listening to Hung.